At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything, be anything,
achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends, and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to homecoming at Darlington School tonight, where Darlington is hosting Mount Paran, coached by hometown boy Miss Jordan. We've got a great game in store tonight, a lot of halftime festivities for homecoming. So, first thing we're going to do is everybody stand, take any head coverage off. We're going to have our invocation, be followed by Darlington Stadium Band bringing us our national anthem. Our invocation tonight is going to be brought to us by Eli Baldwin, a Darlington senior. Eli is the son of Christy and Joe Baldwin of Guadalajara, Mexico. Bow your head. Our Father, thank you for today, for the opportunity to celebrate tonight, to both watch and participate in this game. We ask that you bless the players, refs, the coaches, and everyone involved. We ask that the players come out of this game healthy and safe, and that all the glory go to you, the Father of all mankind. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. you turn your attention to this field, our national anthem is brought to us by the Darlington Stadium Band under the direction of Damon Harvey. Started tonight, let me tell you about our officiating crew. They come to us from the Northwest Georgia Football Officials Association out of Dalton, Georgia. The referee tonight is Gary Bingham. The umpire, Chris Short. The lineman, Doodle Quarles. Line judge, Harley Rose. Field judge, Charles Blair. Side judge, Sean Scott. Our electric clock operator is John Nelson. And the play clock operator is Elashati Dean.
Here, I am becoming who I want to be.
For when we start.
Here, I am looking toward my
Either
future.
color's fine.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
Athletics,
fine arts,
and service to our community.
Yes, indeed, we do
We show
continue
our
our pregame
versatility
activities.
as we choose
We
different
continue to
pathways to
set
our
the
goals.
stage for the Darlington Tigers to
This
open up
is our
region
home.
play here
We
in
embrace
7A
challenges and
private
persevere,
against Mount
even
Paran
when
Christian
something seems
Eagles. It's going to be a big night
We
here
collaborate and
at
create
Jerry
to take our
Sharp
place
Field
in the
inside
world.
Chris
We
Hunter
know that
Stadium.
together we can make an
And to go
impact.
back and talk a little
This
bit
is
more
our
about
moment.
these two teams.
Our time.
Darlington so far this
Graduates
season, we
today,
mentioned they're
Darlington
4-2.
forever.
They're averaging about 28 points a game, a little more than that, giving up about 13.17 points a game. For Mount Paran, they've really struggled on both sides of the ball. Surprisingly, they're averaging 7.4 points a game out of the 5 games that they've played so far, while giving up 24.6. And that is just not a common situation with a Mount Paran team. And we've been told by some outside sources that they had a lot of guys graduate from last year, and they do have some talent, but they're just trying to get these guys in rhythm together. And one of the things that happened last week, they were supposed to play Kings Ridge, and Kings Ridge had a COVID situation, and so they didn't have the opportunity to play that last tune-up game before they get into this game. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in that situation. You get a bye week, so if you got some bumps and bruises, those sorts of things, you get a little more opportunity to kind of heal those up. But at the same time, you miss having an opportunity to get these kids out on the field and play, in a live game.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Tigers are going to try to hold them to their average going forward. If they can keep Mount Paran around 7 points, then it's going to be a good night here at Chris Hunter Stadium. So if they can keep them around their averages, then we're going to see a Darlington win tonight.
No question about it. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the coaching situation for both these teams. Obviously, Tommy Atha's in his 19th season at the helm of the Darlington Tigers. He's 154-60 with a 72% win percentage, 5 region championships. Of course, Tommy's teams have only missed the playoffs twice in his entire career as a head coach. Never had a losing season, and in 2009, his team made it all the way to the semifinals. So that speaks for itself, Ian.
Yeah, absolutely. The tradition here is without a doubt strong and going well, and we're excited to see what they can do tonight in a game that means a lot to this team.
And to talk a little bit about Mitch Jordan, this is his 13th season at the helm of the Eagles after starting the program. But this is a homecoming of sorts. He is a 1990 graduate of Darlington and was an assistant coach for Darlington from 2002 to 2008. As a matter of fact, Coach Atha hired him to be his defensive coordinator for the very first year that he was head coach for the Tigers, and that's because he believed in what he can do as a coach. And so always interesting when you see coaches like that are good buddies. I know they're great friends, have had a long-time friendship when they get out on the field and coach against each other.
Well, giving him that opportunity to coach, obviously Coach Jordan knows the mind of Tommy Atha pretty well, and when you're coaching against somebody who knows your tendencies, it's going to get in your head a little bit, I'm sure. So these guys are going to go at each other hard. They know what the other likes to do, and you're going to see a chess match out there tonight.
And we're going to be learning tonight. I was trying to do some research on this Mount Paran team, and there's not a lot of video that you can find online. Couldn't really find many stories about the team. But the one thing I can tell you, and I think everybody that watched that game last year between Darlington and Mount Paran Christian in the second round of the playoffs will agree, is we're all just really super happy that Nico Vangarelli, their quarterback from last year, that he's graduated and is on to Princeton, because the Darlington Tigers had a really tough time stopping him last year, and really he was a big part of the reason they won that football game.
Yeah, man. I mean, when we were talking in the studio the other day, you were giving him Tebow comparisons.
Well, he wore the number 15, if I remember correctly, and there were some things that he did in terms of the way he played the game of football and approached the game of football that reminded me of Tim Tebow. So I think it would be a pretty accurate comparison.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I'm sure they're glad that he's not lining up on the other side of the field tonight, but I'm sure Mount Paran has some kids who are ready to come out and give it their all.
Well, we are about 10 minutes away from the kickoff. Other area games tonight, we'll run down the list. Model is at Dade County. Rome is going to be at facing East Paulding at Barron Stadium tonight. Unity Christian School, undefeated in the driver's seat in their region. They're playing Johnson's Ferry tonight over at Grizzard Park. Adairsville and Coahulla Creek will face off on Saturday. That's an interesting matchup because Coahulla Creek played Murray County last Friday. Then they turned around on Tuesday and played North Murray, and now they're going to play Adairsville on Saturday. So if I did my math correct, and I've already admitted on these broadcasts quite a few times, I'm not a mathematician by any stretch of the imagination, but I was looking at the calendar. That is 3 games in the span of 9 days. That's unbelievable.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal, and for a team that has taken a lot of L's over the years, they're about to take their third L in 9 days.
More than likely, that's probably what you're going to see there. But I got to tip my cap to those kids because they got out and they gave North Murray all they could handle, basically for 4 quarters until North Murray put them away 28-14 towards the end of the game. But that game was a lot closer than I expected. And, of course, as you pointed out on our pick show earlier, a lot of that probably had to do with the fact that they gave Rottmart all they could handle on Friday, talking about North Murray.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be a mountaintop experience for them because they gave it everything they had to hang with the Yellow Jackets and gave them a really good scare after trailing by a significant margin. Ended up coming down to an onside kick, right, at the end of that ball game?
Yep.
Okay, so push the edge, then you turn around and play on a Tuesday night. It's got to be hard to get up for that game coming off of an emotional loss like that.
No question about it. Cartersville is facing Hiram tonight at Wyman Stadium. Cass will be at Woodland. Cedartown at Northwest Whitfield. That ought to be an interesting game. Rottmart versus LFO. that one probably won't be an interesting game more than likely. And probably the game of the week that people are really, really excited about around the area has got to be Calhoun going up against Blessed Trinity. Blessed Trinity's won 3 state championships in a row. They're ranked number 2 in the state in their classification. Calhoun's ranked number 5 in the state. So definitely a lot of eyes on that one tonight.
Yeah, what a trio they have in that region with Cartersville, Blessed Trinity, and Calhoun. And this will be the first of those 3 matchups against each other. All of those will be game of the week material.
Well, Ian, we are about 6.5 minutes until kickoff here. Before we take our final break, before we get ready for the kickoff of this football game, I want to remind everybody to stay tuned after the game for the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Last week it was Patrick Shelley, who accounted for 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdown passes. He also ran for a touchdown, had several tackles, intercepted a pass. He was a force in the loss against Bremen, came up a little bit short in that game, but that young man did everything he could do to possibly help his team get the win.
And he's our first repeat winner, right?
He is.
Yeah, he earned it. He earned it. We can't control who puts that performance on the field, so we have to give it to the guy we think made the biggest contribution to Darlington's efforts.
Indeed. And then also after the game as well, it will be the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show, obviously brought to you by the Rome Orthopedic Center. We appreciate them sponsoring that because it's a fantastic show. I always introduce it as the soon-to-be award-winning Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show, and I've been saying that for a couple of years. Still waiting on the award, but it's coming.
If it's not on your radar, it should be.
It absolutely should be. So a lot of great things coming up here tonight on WLAQ, and we want you to stick around with us because we are going to have a ball tonight. It is where the rubber meets the road. Region play begins tonight. It's your Darlington Tigers against the visiting Mount Paran Christian Eagles. Friday night lights are shining. We're fired up, and we are going to send it back to the studio for another break. When we come back, we'll have the coin toss, and we'll continue to set the stage for tonight's game here on the Darlington Tigers Radio Network. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Bruce Lewis on the 54, captain going out with the coin. Number 6, Tyler Watson, one of our captains tonight. Number 22, Thomas Speed. Number 5, Mason McKinney.
Indeed, we do. And we've just had the coin toss. Darlington won the toss, and I don't think anybody is going to be surprised to know that they have deferred to the second half, and Ian will let that defense get out there and try to set the tone tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. This defense has played well all season long, and you get the thing about deferring is you get that extra possession. You can really turn that to your favor depending on how things go in the first half. So I love it when a team says, hey, we're going to go out here and show what our D can do, and that's what Darlington is going to do tonight. Captains
for tonight for Darlington were Luke Lewis, Tyler Watkins, also Thomas Speed, and then the fourth captain was Mason McKenzie, the long snapper. And for the visiting Mount Paran Christian Eagles, both teams, by the way, making their grand entrance as we get ready to go. A lot of enthusiasm and energy out there tonight. This is going to be fun, but Jet Allen, Will Stevens, Jordan Mosby, Hudson Jervey, and Will Hutchinson, Ben Whitmire, and Freddie Coleman were the captains tonight for the visiting Mount Paran Christian Eagles. And just like that, it's almost 7:30 and a train goes by.
I know, before we can even kick off, we're at train number 1.
I mean, it's almost like somebody planned it.
I think 3 is the record so far this season, so we'll see if we can break that tonight. Oh, by the way, for the first time at a home game, Darlington's in the purple jerseys with the fresh white pants tonight. They've been wearing the grays, which are slick, but the traditional purple and white get up tonight. I like it.
I do like it. And tonight, on the other side, you got Mount Paran Christian, and they have their gray breeches on today. So anyway, a couple of keys to the game as we get ready to roll. One of the most important things, and you got to know this is something they've talked about all week, is staying focused on this opponent. Yes, the Eagles are 0-5, and the Tigers are going to be going on the road to face number 7 in the state ranked Christian Heritage on the road next week. But this is a team that's going to come here prepared to compete. They're going to be fired up. They are hungry to get their first win, and you cannot take them for granted. And you got to know that's been something that's been preached all week.
It's a well-coached team by a coach who's familiar with this Darlington program. No, you absolutely can't take them lightly. Darlington needs to come out here ready to roll, and they're going to let the strength of their team come out and establish themselves here with the defense on this first drive as they kick off to Mount Paran.
2 men back deep here for the Eagles. Brinson Sumner has it teed up. They've got some Guns N' Roses, Welcome to the Jungle, fired up on the PA. Toe meets leather. We are underway. That's a long kick that's going to drop into the end zone, a touchback, and that'll make them set up and go to work from the 20.
You know, Matt, we've called these two teams together before from a scissor lift.
Yes, we have. And that was certainly a very, very interesting night. That was in 2011. Darlington lost that game, I believe, 10-7, and it was windy, and I thought we were going to die.
I did. I'm really happy we made it out of that. It's 9 years later, and we're still here, right back in the booth. This time in much more comfortable setting, I would say.
And the other thing I remember about that 2011 game, I believe that was the one where they had 3 touchdowns called back for holding calls, talking about the Tigers.
Tough loss for Darlington that night.
Well, the Eagles are going to set up again at their own 20 as we get ready to start play here in the first quarter, just about to be underway. And there is the snap from under center. They're going to hand it off and go around the right side and pick up a big chunk of yards. That was a 20-yard play. The quarterback is Andrew McKendry, and he got the ball, I believe, to Mosby on that play.
I didn't catch the number, but I think you're right. And just a huge hole off to the right there, just a simple sweep play. Matt, it was 29 that got that carry, so that was Nick Germain.
Thank you very much. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the pregame, tried to do some research on this team and just couldn't find much. Quarterback under center. Wide receiver on the far side, man goes in motion. They're going to go up the gut, and there's nothing there but a wall. So that's going to be a loss for the Eagles.
Yeah, gang tackled there by the Tigers. That was Germain again on the carry. After a successful first run, they actually... they're going to give him forward progress of close to a yard there, so that sets up 2nd and 9. at the 43-yard line.
So Andrew McKendry is the quarterback here tonight for this Mount Paran Christian Eagles football team, coming into the game 0-5, battling to try to get their first win of the season. And this is the first region game of the season for both of these two teams. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 9 as the Eagles go back to the line of scrimmage. This time they're going to line up with the wide receiver to the far side. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, come around the near side, and pick up about 3 yards. And the ball carrier on that play, Ian, was number 6. His name is Sam Griffith Tesh.
And Tesh would still be running if it wasn't for Patrick Shelley coming in off the edge and making a shoestring tackle right there. That was a big, big opening to run through. So Shelley saved a big gain with a great tackle.
So Mount Paran runs back to the line of scrimmage now with a 3rd down and 6. Quarterback under center, a couple wing backs. 2 wide receiver set. There's the snap. They're going back with Griffith Tesh. He runs off to the right side. He's got a head full of steam. He's down to the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, and he is in the end zone. And guess what? Just like that, Mount Paran scores on the opening drive of the football game.
Yeah, just a simple jet sweep play there, and they set the edge well. A good block on the outside by Griffith Tesh, who had that carry on the last play, and that sprung Allen, and nobody was going to catch him. Gone. Just a really nice run there by Mount Paran, and not the way that the Darlington Tigers wanted to start this ball game.
So Griffith Tesh, I believe that was a 54-yard run for the touchdown. And now they will come back to the line of scrimmage and attempt the extra point. Handling the kicking duties looks to be Turner Johnson, the junior. And the Eagles will try to punch it through and make this a 7-0 football game. We have 10:24 left here in the opening quarter of play. Definitely not the way the Tigers were wanting to get this thing going. There's the kick on the way, and it's going to just slip in the upright, and it'll be good. So 7-0.
Right. And a nice start for Mount Paran. Not the way Darlington wanted to get things started, of course. 2 big run plays were the highlight of that drive, an 80-yard drive. They ran the ball I think that was 5 plays total. And they had a good run on their first play from scrimmage of about 22 yards, and then followed that up with a couple of short runs, but were able to spring the jet sweep for the long gain. You had it notched at 54 yards.
I believe that's where it went, but... So the Eagles will tee it up, and the Tigers will see if they can respond. Again, 10:24 left, opening quarter. Mount Paran scores on the opening drive of the football game after Darlington had won the toss, deferred to the second half. And the Tigers are going to send a couple men back deep.
Now, if there's one thing we've seen from this Darlington team consistently when they've been challenged, and that has really only been in a couple of games this season, when they get hit, they're ready to fight back. So Darlington will have to answer the bell once again as they trail early here in the first quarter.
Charlie Batch with it teed up at the 40-yard line, ready to kick it off to the Darlington Tigers as they'll get ready for their first possession of the football game. It's going to be a long kick out of the back of the end zone. Look at the leg on that kick, and we have consecutive touchbacks to start the game.
Yeah, an impressive kick there by Batch. You can't return them if they land out of the end zone. That's an effective method.
Indeed. So 10:24 left, first quarter. Darlington trails 7-0, and they will get the football for the first time. Out trots Patrick Shelley out to the huddle. He'll get ready to line his team up. As we mentioned in the pregame, he threw 2 touchdown passes in the game last week and scored a touchdown on a 1-yard run. He's going to line him up in a gun. 3 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near from the 20. Here's the snap. He's going to throw a quick out to the far side. Connects. He's got a lot of space. He's down to the 40, and that is a great, great pass over to Thomas Speed and a great run. Big play, Darlington Tigers.
Thomas Speed is the big play receiver for the Darlington Tigers, and when he touches it, good things happen, especially early in football games. So on the first play, just a simple, quick out pass there to Speed, and he makes the moves and gets a good game.
Running the tempo. Shelley takes the snap with 1st and 10, throws another quick pass. This one was Thomas Bethel, a little bit out of his reach, couldn't quite get his hands around it. That's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, just a little bit high, but I like the tempo that Darlington's coming out with here, and they're looking to establish this passing game to start.
Second down and 10, 3 wide receivers to the near side, one's on the far side. That's Thomas Speed. In the backfield is Harrison Allen, who's had just an unbelievable season in his first year as a Darlington Tiger. Came over from Cartersville back in January. There's the snap. In trouble. He's going to throw it up the middle of the field, connects with Thomas Bethel, stays up. Great effort there and gets about 6 yards.
Really nice block there from Harrison Allen on that play. He picked up the blitz well. And Shelley had to pump fake and then go back to his second option. So a good job there making his progression. Good catch by Bethel, and that sets up third and manageable.
So 3rd down and 6 here for the Tigers as they'll set up shot just on Mount Paran's side of the field at the 49. 2 wide receivers on the near side, a couple on the far side, and the flag comes in before the snap.
And the way the Darlington players are reacting, it's going to be on them, and it is a false start. So that takes you from 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 11, changes the dynamic of this down.
So now the ball is going to be on the 46-yard line on Darlington's side of the field as they get ready for this 3rd down and 11. In the backfield is Harrison Allen. Shelley with them lined up in the gun with 2 wide receivers on the near side and 1 on the far side. Beautiful night for football, but I got to tell you, I don't know where fall went. We went right back to summer. It's pretty warm. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. Shelley is looking for somebody to throw it in the middle of the field. He connects again with Thomas Bethel, takes a heavy hit, but he's able to get a good chunk of yards. He's going to be short of the 1st down.
Yeah, the sure-handed Bethel reeled that one in with a lot of contact, and that puts you in Darlington is in a position here. It's 4th and 1. I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Atha go for it.
It looks like they are.
Bringing out the big eaters here.
And a timeout, I believe. Nope.
Let's see.
They may.
From here it looks short. I don't think
they're bringing out the chains.
They are going to bring out the chains. So here comes the chain gang, and if you've been watching some, is it Geico or is it? I don't know. One of the insurance companies has a nice little campaign going with these chain gang guys.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's good.
That's a little bit short.
Short by the nose of the football, maybe a little more. And that heavy set is out in the huddle. It looks like Darlington's going to line up here and say, you know what, let's go get this inch or two we need to pick up the 1st down and keep this drive alive.
I don't think there's any question about what they're going to try to do here. So now they'll get everything lined up here, and we'll resume play in just a moment. We have 9:11 left here in the 1st quarter. Mount Paran received the opening kickoff after Darlington had won the toss, deferred to the second half, and they would score on a big play. I believe it was a 54-yard run by Griffith Tesh to put them up 6-0. The extra point was good, and so they lead it 7-0. Darlington back to the line of scrimmage. 4th and inches. They'll line up with Patrick Shelley under center. This is their power formation, and that's going to be a flag.
And I don't know which way they're going to call it. The Darlington faithful thought that they pulled off Mount Paran, but it looks like it's going the other way, and it is.
So obviously this changes the scenario, and they're going to bring on the kicking team and punt this thing away and see if they can pin them back. And one of the things that we didn't get to, but we were going to talk about as one of our keys to the game, Ian, was finishing drives with touchdowns. That's definitely been something that Darlington struggled with.
It has plagued the Tigers this year, and penalties have been a problem too.
So Sumner's getting ready to punt this thing away with 1 man back deep here for the Eagles. Puts a lot of air under this one. That one's headed for the moon. It drops, and it is going to bounce all the way into the end zone, so that'll be a touchback.
Yeah, you had 5 or 6 Tigers trying to get there and stop that one. It hit at about the 13-yard line and just carried. I just had a little bit too much momentum and carried into the end zone before the coverage team could down it. So that puts Mount Paran at the 20 again for this drive. Last time they started in the same exact field position and took it 80 yards in 5 plays, capping it off with a big 54-yard run on a jet sweep by Jet Allen, appropriately named, taking the jet sweep.
Indeed. So they go back to the line of scrimmage now with 1st and 10 from the 20. And the quarterback is Andrew McKendry here. He is a junior for Mount Paran Christian. He's under center. He's going to hand it off. They'll come to the near side with Sam Griffith Tesh. He finds a little bit of room and gets about 5 yards. This young man is fast.
Yeah, he is. He's got some speed, and they are looking to get him out on the edge where he can utilize it.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4 here for Mount Paran, and they are moving the ball with what looks like ease so far in this game.
You told me these guys average 7.4 points a game.
Yes.
Man, they look pretty sharp so far.
They really do. McKendry under center, wide receiver on the far side. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off and go up the middle, and they're able to get a 1st down. And the ball carrier on that play was Nick Germain.
Germain got the first carry of the game. He has had 2 since then and looks to be their bruiser between the tackles.
Ian, I don't know what's been going on because this does not look like an 0-5 team to me at all.
Absolutely not. No, they look very polished. I mean, they're looking to establish the run. We haven't seen a pass attempt yet, so Darlington, it would benefit their defense to put them behind the chains here on 1st down.
One wide receiver on the far side. The ball is on the 33-yard line, still on Mount Paran's side of the field. They have the ball. They're going to hand it off and go to the far side, try to find some room. And finally, the Darlington defense is able to hunt him down and bring him down to the turf, but they had to really work to get him.
They did, and right now they've got this clicking. And Matt, this offense reminds me a little bit of the Paul Johnson option.
A little bit,
yeah. Some kind of hybrid or form of that, but if that's the case, Mount Paran's going to look to control the clock and pound the rock all night long.
2nd and 7 here for the Eagles. Under center goes McKendry. Ball's on the 36-yard line, I should say. There's the snap up the middle of the field. First pass of the game, wide open. Jet Allen running up the middle of the field, and he's going to be brought down just inside the 20 in the red zone.
And that looked exactly like the Paul Johnson offense there. Just a quick snap, 3-step drop, fire to your A-back there, and he was off and running. Shelley saved the touchdown. And this Mount Paran offense is absolutely clicking to start this game.
Lull you to sleep with those run plays, one right after another, and then pop a pass up the middle of the field, and nobody was there. Quarterback under center, that's going to be McKendry. 1st and 10 from the 20. There's the snap. They're going to pitch it to Germain. He finds some space to run, goes off to the right side down to the 10. Flag comes in.
And for the first time all night, Mount Paran has made a mistake, and that will set them back behind the chains, which is what you have to accomplish to slow an offense like this down. 1st down is paramount.
6:44 remains 1st quarter. Mount Paran up 7-0, threatening again here in this opening quarter on their 2nd possession of the football game.
Let's see where they march this off from, Matt. If it was a spot foul. It is a spot foul, so 1st and 15. See if Darlington can take advantage of this penalty. We've already seen, I don't know how accurate he is, but their kicker who kicked off, what was his name? Charlie Batch, big leg.
Yes.
So we'll see if he's accurate with that power.
And the extra point, I believe, was Turner Johnson.
Okay.
So we'll see what they do there. But 26-yard line is where Mount Paran now has the football with the 1st and 15. They'll line up under center, a couple wing backs. Wide receiver to the near side. Man goes in motion. They go up the middle with the football, and finally they're going to reel him in, but he picks up about 5 yards.
Foundation of this offense is that dive play, and it was well executed there by Nick Germain.
Nice crowd on hand tonight to watch this football game. A lot of Darlington fans. Quarterback under center, McKendry, 2nd and 9. And a flag comes in, and this time it's on the Tigers again.
It is. That'll be an encroachment penalty. As they came up, and a nice hard count there by Andrew McKendry was able to pull the Darlington defensive end offsides. Now they're looking at 2nd and 4.
Well, we'll have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show after the game tonight, but not before we award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. But just to be honest with you, there's a lot of work to do.
Absolutely. We have a long way to go. Almost 6 minutes left in this 1st quarter.
McKendry under center. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Griffith Tesh. He runs to the near side trying to get some room. They haul him out of bounds, but guess what? There's more laundry on the field.
Let's see what the call is here.
5:29 left here in the opening quarter, 7-0 Mount Paran with the football and the lead. And still waiting on the call here.
Man, I'm getting nothing from the officials at this point, but it looks like it's on Darlington.
Indeed it is.
Half the distance. Face mask, okay.
All right, so the ball's going to be on the 4-yard line after the face mask. And they assessed half the distance to the goal.
That's what we're looking at. So the ball is sitting right at the 4-yard line where they will have it first and goal.
Wow. I'm pretty sure you guys just heard the number 17 announced. The Mount Paran Christian coaches are in the booth next to us, and they're making sure they're heard. Quarterback's under center, McKendry getting ready to take the snap. He's going to call a timeout. The flag came in, so it could be a delayed game. He might not have got the timeout in time.
We will see. I think they are going. Oh.
Well, it looks like they're going to stick with the timeout.
And the officials have been busy so far in the first quarter.
And where they are on the field, Ian, right now, I think we're just going to keep it here through this particular timeout. Normally we take a break. Well, we've probably taken enough time where we just need to keep it right here.
They are waiving off the penalty, so the timeout was called before the play clock expired. And the Darlington faithful do not like it.
No, they don't. Well, this gives us an opportunity to thank our sponsors, our radio sponsors, for making it possible for us to be here tonight. Floyd Medical Center, Honeymoon Bakery, the sponsor of the icing on the cake player of the game. Riverside Auto Group, also Avery Drugs, Rome Orthopedic Center, Ware Mechanical. We appreciate all those fine folks for helping us bring these broadcasts to you.
I'm appreciative. It allows us to be here, Matt. So, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on a Friday night.
And it's kind of funny, you know. We appreciate people thanking us for doing this, and it's like, look, I'm hanging out with my friend, and we're watching a football game every Friday night and talking about it. Do this for fun.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Well, Mount Paran Christian goes back to the line of scrimmage now with first down with the ball on the 4-yard line. Quarterback rolls up under center. That's McKendry. Man goes in motion. They're going to pitch it to the right to Jermaine, and he dives towards the end zones, brought down. Good stop by the defense.
Yeah, really, really good job there by Tyler Watkins. His pursuit forced Jermaine to cut it back inside where the rest of the Darlington Tigers could clean that up, but Watkins established the edge there and didn't let him get to the outside and score. Really well defended. This offense that Mount Paran runs is designed for success inside the 10-yard line. So we'll see what Darlington can do to possibly get a stop.
From the 3-yard line here on second down, quarterback takes the snap, dives towards the end zone. I believe that was Jermaine again, and he's able to score a touchdown unless I'm badly mistaken. We'll double check on the number here in just a couple of moments. But either way, it's another 6 points here for the Eagles. And let's see, once that young man gets up, if we can pick up his number.
It was Jermaine.
It was Jermaine.
It was. Yeah, just stuck with that dive play and powered forward. And what a start for Mount Paran here with the PAT pending. They lead 13-0.
And handling the point after is going to be Turner Johnson. We'll wait on the snap here just a moment, but 4:45 left here in the first quarter. He's able to put this through. It'll be 14-0. There's the kick. It's on the way, and it is going to be good. And it is indeed 14-0. Very, very surprised at the start of this game.
Yeah, absolutely shocked. And I think Coach Tommy Athan knew something we didn't, because this Mount Paran team is executing this triple option offense extremely well at a high level and had a ton of success now, mounting 2 80-yard drives. So they've already racked up quite a bit of offense here, and there's still 4:45 left on the clock in the first quarter.
Well, Darlington needing to bounce back pretty quickly. Last week was a loss at home to Bremen, 21-20. Had an opportunity at the end of that game with an attempt at a 2-point conversion, came up short, lost that game, and you know, it was one of those things. They just put it all out on the field, came up a little bit short. But now you're in the games that really matter. So they really need to find a way to get back into this game quickly.
Yeah, you can't allow a team to beat you twice, you know. And yeah, it was a tough loss last week, but you got to shake that off and be ready to play. And we'll see if the Tigers can bounce back here.
Kickoff coming up here from Charlie Batch from Mount Paran. The kick is on the way, and it is going to be fielded at the 1-yard line and brought out by McDermott. He's up the middle of the field. He's got a head full of steam. He's across the 50 to the 40, stays up to the 35, and that's where he's going to be brought down, given everything he has. Luke McDermott, what a return.
And we've seen Luke, he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities with the ball in his hands, but they try to get him out in space. He's got a great speed, and he was able to utilize it there on that kickoff return. And Darlington needed a shot in the arm. They just got it from that return by Luke McDermott.
So with 4:34 left here in our opening quarter, Darlington trailing 14-0. They'll set up shop and go to work from the 36-yard line on Mount Paran side of the field. They're going to line up with Harrison Allen just shaded behind Patrick Shelley with 2 wide receivers on the far side, one on the near working from left to right on your radio dial. We get ready for Shelley to take the snap. Shelley waiting on the snap. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off. A little bit of a bump between running backs there on that play, and we're going to have a flag.
Yeah, I don't think Thomas Bethel ever got up to the line of scrimmage there, and they dropped a flag, but I think Darlington may have called a timeout before that ball was snapped.
Well, we're going to take this timeout along with them. 14-0, Darlington trails. They've got the ball on the 36-yard line in Mount Paran territory when we come back after a 30-second break. Well, the Darlington Tigers are trying to recover after a little bit of a rocky start to the game, trailing 14-0.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they deferred and elected to kick off to let the defense set the tone, and they've been gashed for 80-yard drives on both of Mount Paran's possessions. So here's a chance for them to get back on the board and fire back.
So they're going to line up here in the gun with Patrick Shelley set to take the snap with Allen in the backfield, 4 wide receiver sets.
That'll go against Mount Paran.
That is an encroachment.
Yes, it is.
And it took him a minute to throw the flag.
It did.
But here's a penalty that goes in the favor of the Tigers for a change.
And on the Tigers' first drive, Patrick Shelley was 3 for 4 for about 40-some-odd yards. He hit Thomas Bethel twice and Thomas Speed with the other attempt.
4 wide receiver set now with 1st and 5 with the ball on the 31 in Mount Paran territory. Darlington has the football trailing 14-0. Now Allen will shift to the left side of the quarterback. Patrick Shelley, there's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff, and the quarterback runs around. Nice spin move at the end of the play. They get about 6 yards and a first down.
Shelley with the read option there. He really had a lot of success with that last week against Bremen, where he made the decision to keep, and it looks like we have one of the Mount Paran players down on the field, so we'll probably have an official timeout, an injury timeout.
All right, we're going to take one as well. We'll step out. 4:19 left here, opening quarter. Mount Paran 14, Darlington 0. Darlington with the football, closing in on the red zone when we come back in 30 seconds. All right, we're back out at Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Darlington School is where we're at tonight, and Darlington trails this one 14-0, but they've got a golden opportunity here, Ian.
Yes, they do. First down on the Mount Paran 24-yard line after Patrick Shelley picked up the first down with his legs on a read option play on that last play from scrimmage.
They'll line up in the gun this time. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley getting ready to take the snap on 1st and 10, and he's going to throw a quick out here to the inside over to Thomas Speed, and they'll pick up a few yards on that play, not a whole lot there.
Yeah, Speed moved inside and was trying to plant his foot to make a cut and break it on the outside, and he just lost his footing, but still a positive play of 3 yards to start this possession of downs.
And they're going to run tempo here. 3 wide receivers, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near for 2nd and 7 with the ball on the 21-yard line in Eagles territory. Tigers with the football, trying to climb back in this one, trailing 14-0. Shelley directing traffic at the line of scrimmage, is going to hand it off to Allen, stays up, muscles through the line of scrimmage. He's still carrying the pile, and he gets down to about the 16-yard line. So they didn't get the first down, but they set up 3rd and manageable.
And surprising that that's the first carry for Harrison Allen. He has been a workhorse all season, and he does his thing where he just gets those yards after contact and sets up a 3rd and 2.
Ball is right at the 16-yard line, so Darlington is in the red zone here for the. Now they'll go to the line of scrimmage trying to convert this 3rd down in their power set. There's the snap. They're going back to Allen. Runs off to the right tackle side of the formation, and he's going to be dropped. I don't think he got there.
It looks short. That was really well defended. Yeah, not even going to have to measure. He picked up a little bit, but clearly 4th down, and they're going to stay out on the field and see if they can get this yard.
So they'll keep that jumbo set out on the field here for this next down. We're 4th and 1. Shelley back from the sidelines talking things over with Brent Bell. Now the Tigers in the huddle with a big play coming up. 2:23 left in the first quarter. They'll line up in their power set. There's the snap, and quarterback's going to dive. And I think he was stopped a little short. We'll see.
It'll depend on the spot. It really will depend on the spot.
Mount Paran's convinced he didn't make it.
I think the spot was generous, perhaps, but that's not something you can review in high school, so this may end up working out for the Tigers. No, they're signaling the other way without a measurement.
So the 2 drives for the Tigers so far, one ended on a punt, and now the second drive, turnover on downs, and it remains 14-0, Ian.
Yeah, this is definitely a shell-shocked Darlington team at this point. I don't think anybody expected for them to be trailing 14-0 at this point in the game and giving the ball back to Mount Paran. They'll take over just shy of their own 15-yard line after a huge 4th down stop.
2:11 left here in the first quarter of the football game as Mount Paran trots their offense right back on the field, and they've had great success so far in this football game. So Darlington's defense trying to pin their ears back and get something going here and get a stop. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, and the running back's going to run it over to the near side of the field and pick up a chunk of yards, probably 6 or 7 yards when it all shakes out.
Yeah, nice execution there on that trap play. They faked the toss, hand it to the A-back, and he got a good gain. Tell you what, Matt, this option offense is hard to stop when you're executing at a level like this.
Sam Griffith-Tesh with the carry there. He's done quite a good job here for this Mount Paran team in this football game. And we mentioned to you in the pregame, this team comes into this game 0-5. I don't know how that's happened. 2 wide receivers set, 1 on the far side, 1 on the near. They got the ball right around the 24-yard line. Quarterback under center. That's McKendry. He'll take the snap. They're going to go off to the right tackle side of things this time around. I believe that was Jet Allen with the carry, and they get a first down.
It was Allen there on that sweep. And he is a little slow to get up. And we're going to have another injury timeout. He's performed really, really well, scored the opening touchdown, in fact.
Well, super glad you've joined us tonight for high school football. Certainly wish that we had a better story to paint for you so far as Darlington's concerned. Off to a slow start in a game that really I had it in my mind that it might be 14-0 Darlington right now, not the other way around.
Yeah. I'm obviously, Coach Atha knew this was a strong team, and I'm sure he got that message across to his team. But Darlington's going to have to roll up their sleeves and fight back if they want to get in this ballgame and have a chance to win.
Indeed. Well, we're going to have a busy weekend at WLAQ over the next couple of days. Tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to be out at Towers Field at Richard B. Russell Airport, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But right now, 1st and 10 here for Mount Paran Christian. They have the ball in the lead, 14-0 in the first quarter, late in the first quarter, down to 1 minute. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Jermaine. Again, he bulldozes through, picks up 6 or 7 yards.
If you're getting 5 or 6 yards on first down in this offense, you are right where you want to be, ahead of schedule. And right now, Jermaine's just picking up those tough yards, following the big nasties up front and getting positive yardage on first down.
So now the ball is going to be on the 36-yard line. 2nd down and 4 here for the Eagles, leading at 14-0. McKendry ready to take the snap under center with a wide receiver to the far side of the formation. Directing traffic at the line of scrimmage. McKendry takes the snap. He's going to pitch, run a tall sweep to the near side to Jermaine, and he gets clobbered. Ball comes out, and who's got it? I think Mount Paran was able to cover.
They were able to get back on it. That was a heck of a stick, and Jermaine is still down. He really got popped. And that was, I think it was Harrison Allen that got in there and made that hit. It was either him or Tyler Watkins. I'm going to give that to Watkins because I saw 3 and 6 go in there, but I think Watkins made that hit and forced the ball loose.
Well, I tell you what, that hit was so hard it almost hurt my feelings. My goodness.
It was nasty.
That was a heavy hit.
It was, and let's hope this young man is okay. But a good, clean tackle, forced a fumble, and now has Mount Paran in 3rd and long, which is not the specialty of this offense.
And the first quarter has come to a close. So with that said, we're going to take a break. Mount Paran leads at the end of 1 quarter of play, 14-0. You're listening to Darlington Tigers football here on WLAQ. We will step out for a 1-minute timeout and come back for the second quarter. Well, the team swaps sides of the field. Mount Paran trots their offense back into the field to resume their drive that started with 2:11 left in the first quarter, leading at 14-0. They got a 3rd down and 6 coming up from their own 34, working from left to right now on your radio dial. There's the snap. They're going to put the ball in the air this time, connect with their second pass of the game to Sam Griffith-Tesh. He's got lots of green gas to the 10, the 5. He is going to score his second touchdown of the football game.
First play of the second quarter, and Darlington had a huge 3rd down. They really needed to get off the field, but they were absolutely fooled on that play. And Sam Griffith-Tesh waltzed into the end zone. He was wide open.
Well, a 66-yard play as everything shakes out. And again, Griffith-Tesh is going to get his second touchdown of the football game. And this game has started in a manner that I could never have dreamed it would. And it is 20-0 in favor of Mount Paran Christian, who came into the game, again, 0-5. Now they'll get ready to try to tack on the extra point. Handling the extra points has been Turner Johnson. He's back on. It's on the way. And just like that, it is good. And it is 21-0.
21-0 early second quarter. Darlington has got to regroup and stop the bleeding. They've had some opportunities on offense, but penalties have really, really plagued them throughout this game so far.
No question about it. So the Darlington Tigers will receive the kickoff here momentarily and have another opportunity on offense to try to get out there and put together a drive and get some points on the board.
Now let's remember, they deferred to the second half. So this is where you've got to make your move. They need to go get points. They need to get a stop. And I think the goal has to be to get to halftime without giving up any more points to Mount Paran and see if you can get one of those possessions back to start the second half.
And again, going into this game, I tried to find some game stories on Mount Paran to figure out who was doing what and those sorts of things. I couldn't find anything. So I don't know if maybe, at the beginning of the season they had some guys out that they had back for this game or what the story is there, but this certainly does not look like a team that has started 0-5 whatsoever.
Not.
This is a good football team.
7 points a game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
now they've scored 21 here after 1 quarter and 13 seconds. There's the kick. This one's going to be over towards the 15. It'll be brought out by Thomas Bethel, and he is going up the middle of the field and gets it down to the 37-yard line before they haul him in. A good return for the Tigers.
Yeah, I guess they decided they didn't want to kick to McDermott after that return he had on the last attempt, so they kicked it short and put it in the hands of another Tiger weapon in Thomas Bethel. He was able to advance the ball up to the Darlington 38-yard line where the Tigers will start their third possession of this game. Again, they've had some success, but we talked about this. Finishing drives has been a focal point for them. They've struggled with that throughout the season, but they've got to have points here, Matt.
They absolutely do, and since we just called Thomas Bethel's name, his dad, Thomas Bethel, came up to us before the broadcast and thanked us for some of the nice things we said, but don't thank us, man. He's been doing great things. There's a quick out to the far side to Thomas Bethel, but the defense was all over it, and he picked up about a yard.
Got a yard on first down there. He's been targeted 4 times so far in this game and reeled in 3 of them. One of the passes was a little bit too high for him to handle, but they're definitely trying to get him involved early and often.
Well, they trust him. He's been very sure-handed so far this season, and when he gets the ball in his hands, if he can get a little bit of room, he can run and make things happen. So we're going to see him get some more targets throughout this game. You got to figure. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. They trail 21-0 if you've just tuned in. Shelley has got company. He is going to tuck and run. He's run off to the side of the field. Only one man that might have a shot at him. To the 15, the 10, 5, trots into the end zone. Darlington has put some points on the board. That is just what the doctor ordered. They had to have it.
Yeah, they desperately need it. That time, Shelley rolls out to his left. Tough throwing back across his body. He sees it's not there. He makes one cut, puts his foot in the ground, and had one man to beat, and he smoked him. So a big touchdown for Darlington as they have got to fight back and get into this ball game before we go to the locker room for halftime. That's a nice start. Now the defense has to take that energy and get a stop on the other side.
61-yard play there on the run from Patrick Shelley, who won the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game Award. Last week's won it 2 times, and boy, he has earned the heck out of it. What a competitor. There's the kick on the way from Sumner. It's through. Now it's 21-7, and it's almost like you kind of breathe a sigh of relief after that score.
Yep. I mean, the defense is having to come back on the field after only a couple of plays, and they've had their hands full with this Mount Paran offense, but there's some energy now, some much-needed energy. They had absolutely, the air had gone out of the building after Mount Paran scored that last touchdown, but Shelley's explosive run gives Darlington some life. Defense has to go out and get a stop and give them another chance to score.
And this game will look a whole lot different if those 2 things transpire, so let's see what happens. 21-7, Darlington trails Mount Paran, but man, that play was huge, and you can, as you mentioned, feel a lot more energy in the crowd and just in the environment right now after that big-time play. So the Tigers will get ready to tee this thing up and kick it back to the Mount Paran Christian Eagles visiting here tonight at Chris Hunter Stadium in the opening region game for both of these teams. This is such an important game, and obviously in a situation where you've only got 5 teams in your region that play football. We've talked about this all year. you win one game and you are in the playoffs. Obviously, you don't want to stop there. You want to get the best position possible and put yourself in a position to win a region championship. But a win here, you know you're going to the postseason no matter what happens.
Yeah, it'd be huge. It'd be a great way to start, and both these teams are obviously hungry for a victory tonight.
And if you're Darlington, losing to this team 3 times in a row, you want to get that monkey off your back big time.
Absolutely, especially with it being in the playoffs last year that went down.
Here comes the kickoff from Brinson Sumner, and they're going to kick it short. This time it goes out of bounds.
And that one just came off of his foot sideways. Didn't have a chance. That is a rare miscue from Mr. Sumner, who is just solid in all phases of the kicking game.
Very precise in everything he does. So as you mentioned, that's just one of those things that you're rarely ever going to see. But he's also one of those guys, when something like that does happen, he shakes it off and the next kick will be unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. It happens to everyone.
Absolutely. So the ball is going to be put at the 35-yard line after the penalty for the kickoff being kicked out of bounds. Mount Paran starts on their side of the field with their best field position of the first half. They're going to line up under center. Quarterback again is McKendry, and he'll take the snap and hand it off. And this time the defense gets on him real quick. Jet Allen is dropped for a loss.
For the first time all night, that Darlington Tiger defense ate the option alive on first down. You have to make those negative plays happen, put them off schedule, and get them out of their comfort zone. And this time they were able to establish it. They took that energy from the Shelley touchdown, and we're seeing life from this Darlington defense.
So back to the drawing board go the Eagles with 2nd down and 11 with the ball on their own 34-yard line, leading this one 21-7, but you can really feel that momentum has shifted to Darlington's side. Let's see if they can string together some defensive plays and get a stop. There's the snap.
Yeah, penalty on Mount Paran. The receiver took off a little bit early, so that'll back them up an additional 5 yards.
So this drive is going in the opposite direction of the Eagles' likes here. And the Darlington fans are really starting to get into this football game. I think everybody was stunned with the way things started off, and it's like all of a sudden the Tigers are kind of woken up and made some adjustments and are starting to work their way back into this football game, trailing 21-7 with 10:24 left here in the first half of football. 7th game of the year, first region game of the year for the Darlington Tigers. Quarterback under center, talking about McKendry. He will take the snap, and they're going to hand it off and go to the far side. And he picks up a head full of steam and gets a first down. Boy, gashed him for what, about 16, 17 yards?
Yeah, and that's that trap play, and Griffin Tesh makes the play again. And that moves the chains. And probably on 2nd and 16, they just were doing what they've been doing, running the rock, and he's able to bounce off a couple of tackles and drag a few defenders past the sticks and get a fresh set of downs.
So 1st and 10 now for the Eagles after Darlington had a couple of a really good defensive play. Quarterback's under center. McKendry, man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off and run it up the middle.
Good
and
stomp.
They're going to hold them to about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards.
Yeah, Harrison Allen with the stop there. And it was only a pickup of, I guess, 2, setting up 2nd and 8. Man, this defense needs a stop for so many reasons, but a lot of it's just confidence here, Matt. I mean, so far Mount Paran has driven 80-plus yards on all 3 of their drives.
So back to the line of scrimmage go the Eagles. 2nd down and 8. They'll be under center. A couple of wing backs. Wide receiver on the near side. There's the snap. They're going to run a sweep here to the near side to Jet Allen. He stays up. He's at the 40, the 30. Can they catch him? The 10, the 5. Bethel's the last man that has a shot. He's in the end zone. Another big play here for the Mount Paran Christian Eagles, and it is 27-7. Wow.
Jet running the jet has been a nightmare for this Darlington defense. 2nd and 8 there, and he takes it. What'd you get, 56 yards?
I had 53.
53.
But, I'm not the greatest at the math. But either way, it's going to be 6 points no matter what, and a big play there for Jet.
And the big plays have been the story of this game. It started with the first play from scrimmage, and it has not stopped as Mount Paran has been able to drive the length of the field and has 3 touchdowns of 50-plus yards midway through the second quarter.
And here comes the snap, the hold from Gray. The kick is up. It is off the one of the posts, and that'll be no good for Turner Johnson. Score remains 27-7.
So a little silver lining there as they missed the extra point. It's 27-7. If you're Darlington, you've just got to keep chopping wood here. Go out, try to get another touchdown, keep fighting to get that stop on defense. Maybe there's enough time here for Darlington to score, get a stop, and score again. If you do that, you're coming into the second half with a chance to even things up. That's the mentality you have to have. You've got to keep fighting, keep things in front of you, and control what you can control in this ball game.
Darlington comes into this game 4-2. Their losses so far this season have been close games against really, really good teams out of Region 5 AA, which is one of the best regions in the state in AA football. And tonight, getting off to a sluggish start against this Mount Paran Christian team.
Explosive plays, just left and right. So, by our count, a 54-yard run on the first drive. They scored on a 2-yard run on the second, then a 66-yard pass on the third, and a 53-yard run on that fourth touchdown drive.
Luke McDermott is back deep, and I think we're going to see the same thing we saw in the last kickoff. I don't think they're going to kick it in his direction more than likely.
What they don't know is Tyler Watkins and Thomas Bethel can both make some things happen.
Batch kicks it, and it ends up in the hands of Bethel, who is going to be at the 30, runs through a hole, stays up, balls on the turf, but he covers at the 41. And so a good heads-up play there by Bethel to fall on that football.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been disastrous for the Tigers' comeback efforts here, but Bethel was able to fall on the fumble and keep possession. So Darlington will start at their own 41-yard line, trying to fight, scratch, and claw their way back into this football game.
So the ball is going to be on the 41-yard line as good field position on the last 3 drives for the Darlington Tigers, but only 7 points to show for it here in this football game, trailing again 27-7. Back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to line up here with Allen in the backfield, 3 wide receiver set. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Allen. He tries to run to the near side, and he's going to be dropped. He might have got a yard at the most.
Yeah, I'll call that a no gain. Allen tried to dance a little bit, but the defensive line from Mount Paran was all over it.
So that brings up 2nd down and 10 after no gain. 8:22 left here in the first half. Mount Paran Christian 27, Darlington 7. Shelley's going to line him up with 4 wide receivers with Allen in the backfield. He'll take the snap on 2nd and 10, drops back, looking to throw, puts it in the air, connects with his wide receiver, and that's Gabe Sipkins, who stepped out of bounds. He had a lot of green grass in front of him, but went out of bounds.
Yeah, and he made a great catch there. I don't think he was expecting to break the tackle and have all that space in front. He just couldn't stop his momentum from carrying him out of bounds. But a good catch and a first down for Darlington.
I think they're a little short, man. 3rd and 1.
Yeah.
Shotgun formation, 4 wide set, 2 on the far side, 1 on the near. Allen in the backfield. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to run up the middle. He's up at the 40, the 35, the 30, down the sidelines, the 15, 10, and he's going to go out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Another big play for Mr. Shelley.
Yeah, Patrick Shelley is making some plays with his feet today. Nice run there. He came close to busting that one for another touchdown, but the Tigers are in business. I think he stepped out. Where'd they mark him? They're trying to figure out exactly where he stepped out and spot this ball, but inside the 15-yard line regardless.
It's going to be at the 11, it looks like. So 1st and 10 from the 11, and a timeout is going to be called by Mount Paran Christian. So we're going to do the same thing here. You're listening to Darlington Tigers football on the Darlington Tigers radio network, WLAQ here in Rome. Right now, Mount Paran up 27-7, but Darlington in the red zone at the 11-yard line with 1st and 10. We're going to step out for 30 seconds. We'll be back. right, Darlington Tigers with their offense back out on the field with 1st and 10 from the 11. They got to get to the 1 for a first down, obviously. Let's see if they can string together some plays and get a touchdown and start to close that gap and dig themselves out of the hole. There's the snap. They're going to hand it to Allen, runs around to the near side, stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and scores the touchdown. A 11-yard scamper there for Mr. Allen, and the Darlington Tigers strike again on offense.
And just what the doctor ordered again. They've got to answer, but they've got to get a stop on defense. And this could set up perfectly for them to climb back in the game if they can do so on Mount Paran's next possession. But a nice run there by Allen, off tackle to the left there. He was able to break a few tackles and get to pay dirt.
And that happens with 7:45 left here in the first half. That closes the gap to 27-13. On for the extra point is Brinson Sumner. Handling the hold is going to be Jack Payne. And here comes the snap from Mason McKenzie. The hold looks good. The kick is on the way, and it is through the uprights. It is 27-14. Mount Paran still on top, but the Darlington Tigers closing the gap.
Absolutely. Fighting back, finding ways to score. Their first 2 possessions, they got in their own way. These last 2, the big play has helped them out and given them a spark of energy. That energy transferred over to the defense early in the last drive from Mount Paran. They had them at 2nd and 16. Looked like they were going to get the stop they so desperately needed, but Mount Paran was able to pick that up with a 17-yard run and then hit another big play on the jet sweep. And they've just been clicking and firing on all cylinders tonight. Darlington's got to find a way to get off the field on defense.
No question about it. Well, we are glad you're with us on WLAQ tonight for high school football. Your Darlington Tigers facing Mount Paran Christian. And do want to let you know after the game, as always, we're going to have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show and the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake player of the game. Both of those parts of our program, and we really enjoy a lot. It's really fun to give these players some recognition for the hard work they put in.
Without a doubt, man. And right now, it's wide open as far as the candidates for that honor tonight. And Matt recommends to any of them, whoever wins, get the tiramisu.
Oh, it's fabulous. There is the kickoff, and this one's going to go back into the end zone, an automatic touchback, and that'll bring them out to the 20.
And on 3 out of Mount Paran's 4 drives, they have gone 80 yards or longer. The last one, they started out at the 35 because of a kick out of bounds. But they have had no problems moving the ball and picking up chunk plays left and right. Darlington's got to find a way to eliminate that if they're going to climb back into this game.
So back on to the field is the offense here for Mount Paran Christian, leading this one 27-14 with 7:45 left in the first half of play. Rolling up under center again is going to be Andrew McKendry. He's going to line up with 2 wings and a wide receiver to the far side, working from left to right. Man goes in motion. They're going to hand it off and run the dive up the middle. This time the defense is able to hold, and not a big gain there.
Yeah, just a couple of yards. Well defended. They've got to string a few of these plays together and see if they can force a punt, get their offense the ball back now that they've got some momentum on that side.
So 2nd down and 7 after a pick of what turns into 3 yards. And Mount Paran Christian will go back to the huddle. Quarterback ran off to the sidelines. Andrew McKendry brings in the play call. And now they're all set, running back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to send a wide receiver to the near side. That's going to be Zeb Adams, one off to the far side. Can't catch his number from this angle. There's the snap. They're going to hand the football off, run it to the near side on the sweep, and brought down is Jet Allen. A good defensive play for Darlington.
Yeah, Luke Lewis on the tackle there. Well defended. That play has been eating Darlington alive. Tyler Watkins forced him back inside, and Luke Lewis cleaned it up. And that puts Mount Paran in 3rd and long. Usually you'd say these offenses aren't built for this, but they've been passing the ball very efficiently when they drop back to throw.
1 wide receiver to the far side. McKendry is under center. Everybody else is in tight for this particular formation. And McKendry ready to take the snap. He is going to hand it off. They will go off the far side with a sweep, and he's going to be dropped before the first down.
Huge stop for the Darlington defense here with just over 6 minutes to play. They're finally going to force Mount Paran to punt, barring something odd. I would think Coach Jordan would play it conservative here and punt the ball away with the ball not even, I guess the nose of the ball is at their 30-yard line.
And they are moving the chains.
What?
Apparently that was a first down.
Wow. My goodness, man, that looked short.
I thought it was too.
But it is indeed a first down. So just when it looked like Darlington was going to get a stop. Yeah.
And they're going to call a timeout. So we're going to do the same thing. Mount Paran's just converted on third down, 27-14, 5:50 left here in the first half. Mount Paran on top will step out for 30. All right, it looks like everybody's lined up and ready to roll here. 1st and 10 here for the Eagles with 5:50 left in the second quarter of play. Quarterback McKendry is going to line up under center with a 2 wide receiver set, one on the far side, one on the near side. They're going to run a sweep to the far side, and he's going to be tripped up with a gain of about 6.
Yeah, nice carry there. And they're setting up the play action. They're going to run that play. The next time you see it, the quarterback's going to keep it and take a shot.
Sam Griffith-Tesh was the ball carrier there again for Mount Paran Christian, and they have been moving the ball very effectively, let's just say that, throughout the course of this first half. Now they come back to the line of scrimmage. Fans have kind of settled down a little bit here on the Darlington side. There's the snap. They're going to pitch it to the near side, give it to Jermaine. Jermaine is going to be tackled by a host of Darlington Tigers after about a 2-yard pickup.
That'll set up a 3rd and short, and another opportunity for Darlington to get off the field. Good pursuit there by the Darlington defense. Jermaine's a tough guy to get to the ground. He kept fighting, but Harrison Allen came in and cleaned that up after Luke McDermott was able to hold him at bay.
So 3rd and 3 from the 37-yard line. Mount Paran Christian working from left to right, leading this one 27-14. And as time moves along here in our second half, we're down to the 4:30 mark. Here comes the snap to McKendry. This time he's going to hand it off, and they'll go around to the far side with Sam Griffith-Tesh. Cuts up the middle of the field. He's dropped, and that is a stop on 3rd down.
Without a doubt.
I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to bring up 4th and a long one here for the Eagles, and it looks like they're bringing on the punt team.
And this is setting up perfectly for Darlington. If they can take the rest of this clock, just under 4 minutes left, if they can get a score here, Matt, they get the ball to start the second half. And what felt like it was getting away from them could end up being a ball game they can actually go out and win in the second half.
Charlie Batch on to punt the ball away. He also handles kickoffs for this Mount Paran team. There's the snap. He's going to kick it. A fairly short kick to around the 30, and luckily it goes out of bounds as Shelley tried to field it, kind of bobbled it, and almost ended up being a special teams disaster.
Yeah, flirting with disaster for sure there. I don't know if there was a miscommunication there between McDermott and Shelley, but Shelley tried to field that at the last minute, and McDermott was lucky to get onto it and force it out of bounds. So the Tigers, no harm, no foul, take over at the 29-yard line with 3:28 left. They have 2 timeouts to Mount Paran's none, so they can take their time getting down the field. And the ideal situation is to score with as little time left on the clock as possible so you can get to the locker room at a 1-possession game.
Tigers back to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. They're going to start this drive at their own 29-yard line. There's the snap. They're going to fake the handoff to Allen, rolling out to pass, a long pass up the middle of the field, a little bit out of reach of the wide receiver, who is Leo Gabo, going for the deep ball.
And we haven't seen this Darlington team really try to take the top off of a defense. Good coverage downfield and it was just out of the reach of Gabo on that play.
It brings up 2nd down and 10. Ball still at the 29-yard line. Darius Smith will run off the field. Harrison Allen back on for this package. 4 wide receiver set, 2 on the far side, a couple here on the near side. Shelley in the gun. To his right is Harrison Allen. So Shelley looking off to the sidelines, getting ready for the snap here on this 2nd and 10 play. Ball on the 29. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off, go up the middle for Allen, and he got a little space, picked up about 4.
And this is an interesting situation here. Wouldn't be surprised to see them let that clock run. And if they get it, they can go into a hurry-up mode, but this is 3rd and long. You don't want to give Mount Paran the opportunity to score again before halftime.
Darlington will get the ball to start the second half as they won the toss and deferred. There's the snap, 4 wide receiver set. Shelley puts it up the middle of the field and can't hang on. There's no flag.
No, it was good coverage. Bowden Owens was the target there. He got his hands on it. Just really good defense. And that was Jet Allen that broke the pass up. He just kept fighting to jar that ball loose. That stops the clock with 2:48 to play and forces a Darlington punt. So they were not able to take advantage of that possession. Mount Paran has no timeouts, but they've shown an ability to score quickly.
Mount Paran scored on 4 of 5 of their first half drives. There's the kick, puts a ton of air under it, and it drops at the 20, and it's going to be touched at about the 25.
It had a little English on it. Beautiful punt. There was nobody back to return, so when it bounced at the 20, it came back the other way and was down at the 25.
So Mount Paran will get their 6th drive with 2:36 remaining here in the first half of play, leading Darlington here at Chris Hunter Stadium 27-14.
And we'll get some scores for you at halftime. A lot of great action around the region. Some marquee games going on, and some scores that are going to surprise our listeners when they hear them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some won't, some will.
So Mount Paran's going to start at their own 25 for this drive. Quarterback's under center. Man goes in motion. They're going to give it to the motion man. That's Jet. Finds a big hole and gets it down to the 39-yard line. That'll move the chains on 1st down.
Big pickup, and that play has just been their bread and butter tonight, just picking up huge chunks of yardage. Allen came up a little bit gimpy after that run. That's not the first time he's gotten up and walked with a limp, so we'll see if he can continue to play.
Darlington Tigers football for you tonight on WLAQ right now. Darlington on the wrong end of things, trailing this one 27-14, needing a stop here late in the first half of play. Quarterback under center, McKendry ready to take the snap on 1st and 10 after a big play. On the last play, going to run a sweep with Griffith Tesh, and they're able to stop him after about a 4 or 5 yard gain.
And Mount Paran does not seem to be in a hurry. I think they'll be content if they can get some more points. Of course, that's icing on the cake, not to use our marquee term, but I did. But they don't have any timeouts left, and we are under 1 minute and 40 seconds here.
So 2nd down and 6 forthcoming here for this Mount Paran Christian Eagles team that have come here to Chris Hunter Stadium tonight to make a statement, and they have in the first half.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
We still got a long way to go, folks. Quarterback's under center. Everybody's in tight except for a wide receiver that's on the far side of the formation. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. And going to be brought down quick this time. Good pursuit by the defense. I thought I heard a whistle, but I think it's just something somebody has in the crowd.
Yeah, and Darlington's going to use one of their timeouts here. And, look, Mount Paran has shown the ability to score quickly, but if you can get a stop here, you've got to chip away and get a possession back. So I like that Darlington's rolling the dice here and using this timeout.
Well, now that we've got a stoppage in play, earlier I was telling you that coming up tomorrow we're going to be out at the airport here in Rome because the Wings Over North Georgia Air Show is going to be taking place. And this year they're doing it drive-in style, obviously to be able to maintain social distancing and all the protocol that you need to do to have an event. But the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds are going to be here. Mike Wiskus is going to be here. They're going to have just all kind of different performers, and this year they're going to have more than they typically have because there just hadn't been any air shows this year. And so we're really fortunate here in our community that they're able to have this event at all this year. So make sure that you head out. And when you do, turn your radio to 96.9 FM or 1410 AM because we're going to be broadcasting it so that people in the drive-in format will have a way to follow the commentary. And we're excited about that. We hadn't talked about it any because we didn't want to let people know until we got right upon time for the event. But I'm pretty sure it's safe to talk about it now.
That's exciting. It's going to be a busy weekend for the crew at WLAQ.
Oh, man, no question about that, but really looking forward to it. Mount Paran Christian set to snap the ball on 3rd and 6. There's the ball, going to hand it off, and a good stop by the defense is going to stop them short about 5 yards on the 3rd down conversion attempt.
Yep, and Darlington will take their 3rd and final timeout as that sets up a 4th and 4. So that's the 2nd straight stop for the Tiger defense. They'll get the ball back with 50 seconds to play, barring some kind of long return, which would be great. But they'll have an opportunity to take a couple of shots. Darlington has scored quickly on their 2 scoring drives, so hopefully they can get something going here, Matt. It sure would give them a shot in the arm going to the locker room.
No question, and really the key point out of everything you just said there, 2 stops in a row.
Yeah.
Because obviously Mount Paran scored on their first 4 drives of the football game, and Darlington was just having a hard time figuring out a way to get some stops, and they finally do. And so that helps you swing some of that momentum back in your favor, especially, as you mentioned, when you know you're getting the ball coming out of the locker room. But when you look at the way this game has gone, it is so important when Darlington comes out on offense to start this second half that they put together a solid drive and score some points to start that second half. They just got to have it.
Yeah, they can't go. It'll be interesting to see how they call plays once they get the ball back. They took those 2 timeouts for a chance here with under a minute to go score some points. So I think they're going to be aggressive. They've got to be aggressive if they want to get back in this game. But you're right, Matt. No matter what happens with this next possession, that first drive of the second half has to yield points.
Indeed. Charlie Batch is about to kick it away here to the Tigers. Patrick Shelley is back around the 25-yard line. High snap, is able to handle it. There's the kick, goes off the side of his feet and is going to go over towards the Darlington sidelines.
Huge. And I'm going to look at the replay here, Matt, but I am fairly sure a Tiger got a paw on that one. No, but he made the kicker adjust to the point where he shanked it, and Darlington is set up with prime field position here with 51 seconds. They have no timeouts, so they're going to have to use the sideline to manage the clock.
This is Darlington's 6th possession of the football game. They're going to start at the 46-yard line, still on their side of the field. As you mentioned, 51 seconds left to go. They're going to line up this time with 2 wide receivers on each side of the formation. There's a snap, going to put a quick pass into the hands of their wide receiver, Bowden Owens, who makes his first catch of the game, and a positive play to start their drive.
Owens was targeted on that last 3rd down on the previous possession, couldn't reel it in, but that time just a little out route, and he gets out of bounds, stops the clock, so they're chipping away at this defense to get in scoring range.
So 2nd down and 3 here for the Tigers from the 47-yard line on Mount Paran's side of the field. Dropping back is going to be Shelley. Had a nice pocket, threw again to Owens, connects with him over on the sidelines. He gets out of bounds.
Should pick up the first down. Let's see where they're moving the chains. So just keeping it simple right now, advancing the ball, stopping the clock. And we know they have a weapon in Sumner, too. They'd love to get 6, but 3 would be great.
4 wide receiver set, 1st and 10 from the 43. There's the snap, pump fakes, puts it in the air. It's got some air under it, and that's going to be thrown out of bounds. A flag comes in. I think we're going to see a pass interference call.
I think you'll get him for a hold. And you're hearing the argument that it was uncatchable, but he absolutely put his hands on him. And again, this is high school football, so once the flag hits the turf, rarely, okay, they have decided to wave that one off. Okay, we're going to get a good look at it here on the replay. Yeah, that's a tough one to call there. I couldn't really see anything on the replay that would. Oh, they are going to mark it off.
Yep.
So a 15-yard penalty. And it looked like he had his hands on it.
He did.
Without a doubt.
Definitely wasn't a catchable pass thrown out of bounds, but nonetheless, that's going to be a penalty, and now it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and they will be at the 28-yard line on Mount Paran's side of the field with a 4 wide receiver set, dropping back, looking to throw again. Shelley is in trouble. He's going to have to tuck it and run out of bounds to preserve the clock.
Yeah, that was smart for Shelley to go ahead and pull that down. Whatever he was looking for, it wasn't there, and the pressure was coming, so he pulls that down and gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
So it'll bring up 2nd down here for the Tigers and 5 with the ball on the 23-yard line, just shy of getting into the red zone. Trailing at 27-14. We have 26.6 seconds left in the clock here in the first half. Shelley from the gun with 4 wide receivers. There's the snap. He's going to go to the left side. Interception all day long. That's going to be the number 24, Nick Oyola, I believe, who picked that one off. And that's very unfortunate.
And they just went to that well one too many times there, and credit Loyola for sitting on the ball and watching the quarterback's eyes and making a play. We'll see what the flag is here. Was it a dead ball foul? Or a block in the back on the return, perhaps? See what they call. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Mount Paran, so they will maintain possession of the football. And that was the 3rd time that they tried the out route. The first 2 were successful. That time, Oyola was all over it, jumped the pass, picked it off, and thwarted the Tigers' attempt to make this a one-possession game at the half.
And a lot of possessions in this first half. This is going to be the 7th time that Mount Paran Christians had the football in the first half of the game. They lead at 27-14 with 19.9 ticks left on the clock here in the first half.
It's been an eventful first half.
Certainly has. So 1st and 10 for Mount Paran. They're going to line up on their own 16-yard line with less than 20 seconds left in the first half, leading at 27-14.
And I would expect them to take a knee.
And indeed they will. And that is going to be the end of the first half. So after a half of play, Darlington trailing this one to Mount Paran Christian 27-14. A surprising first half of play, if you ask me, here at Chris Hunter Stadium on Jerry Sharp Field by the lakeside. And we are going to send it back to the studio for a few minutes and catch our breath. And we'll come back and talk over the first half when we come back. You are listening to Darlington Football on the Darlington Tigers Radio Network. We'll be back.
At Darlington, we find our confidence in discovering who we are.
In the classroom and on stage.
The opportunities are endless.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty,
to tell stories,
to inspire.
We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish.
We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves.
Whether we're sketching,
singing,
writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world.
We know that our ideas and contributions matter,
and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the 2020 homecoming court. Representing the freshman class.
Well, we are back live here inside Chris Hunter Stadium and Jerry Sharp Field.
Is the daughter of Kathleen and Richard Hughes of Rome, Georgia. She is escorted by Sine Patel. Sine is the son of Patel and Jagar Patel of Rome, Georgia.
Some other games that are going on around the area, so courtesy of Wayne Orthopedic Center. Here's Ian with some scores, but first I'll tell you right now.
Again, representing the freshman
Jerry Sharp
class.
Field, it's Mount Paran
It's
27.
Noor Yassin.
Absolutely. So Matt, other scores from around the
Noor
region
is the daughter
over
of
at Barron
Manal
Stadium.
and Ismat
It is 3-0.
Yassin of Rome, Georgia.
Defensive struggle.
Escorting Noor is Truett Hayworth.
Both teams have
Truett is the
struggled
son
to move
of
the ball,
Tammy
have
and
had some
Freddie
updates
Hayworth
coming in
of
on the text
Cartersville,
chain with that
Georgia.
one, too. So it's just been a low-scoring defensive affair over there. In what we would consider the game
Who should I be representing
maybe in
the
the state,
sophomore
Blessed
class?
Trinity is playing at the Reeve.
Is Anaya Desai.
Calhoun jumped up with a 14-0 lead. Blessed Trinity fired right
Anaya
back.
is the daughter of Manesh and Nirali Desai of Rome, Georgia.
Cedartown is up at Tunnel Hill.
She is escorted tonight by Ryan Glass.
And they lead the Bruins 37.
Ryan
follow
is the son of John Martin of Rome, Georgia, and John Glass of Rome, Georgia.
Well, they lost to Rockport, Calhoun, a pair of Yellow Jackets that I'd say are pretty respectable losses. And they have
Again,
handled some good
representing the
teams in these
sophomore
past few
class
weeks.
is
Doing it
Jake
again
Scott.
tonight.
And certainly worth pointing out, they were one of the teams that before the season started got hit by
Kate
COVID.
is the daughter
and they had
of
to shut
Jennifer
things
and
down for
Rylan
a couple
Scott
of
of
weeks
Rome,
and missed the
Georgia.
first game that became
Escorting Kate is Jake
Carrollton.
Kay.
And so that kind of
the
set
son
them
of
back a
Beth and
little
Rob
bit.
J of
I bet
Ackworth,
you, if
Georgia.
you talk to them, they wouldn't mind
Jake's
having a
not
couple
able
of
to
those
make
first
it here
games,
tonight,
another
but we
opportunity to play
appreciate
those
him
games.
being a
If
part
they would have had the
of
opportunity
this
to
year's
prepare
homecoming
as much as you'd like
court.
to before big matchups like
Oh,
that.
yeah, without a doubt. They played both those teams close.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it, 14-7 to Calhoun?
Now,
21-14
representing
to
the
Rockport.
junior
So they were
class.
one possession away. So the Bulldogs are looking like a favorite
Mary
in their
Mack
region.
Pittman.
Husa is playing up in Somerville against the Chattooga team that hasn't played in several
Mary
weeks.
Mack
Right
is the
now they
daughter
trail
of Johnny and Joni and John Pittman of Rome, Georgia. She's escorted by Will Bagby.
Murray County.
Will
This
is
Phoenix
the son
team
of
was
Tripp
hard to read. I
and
really
Jennifer Bagby of
had high
Rome,
expectations
Georgia.
for the season. They
Standing
have struggled
in for
there
Will
against
tonight is Tripp Bagby.
Lakeview for Oakthorpe, who's coming off of a big win last week over Somerville, is playing Rockmart over at the Rock, and it's 10-0 in the second quarter.
Again, representing the junior class
by that score,
is Maria
It does
Pelagio
make you wonder, no question
Pinto.
about it. And last week, North Murray, which is a pretty good football team, they pushed.
She's the daughter of Jose and Alessandra Pinto of San Paulo, Brazil.
Surprised that game was as close as it was, personally.
She is escorted by Redding Shaw. Redding is the son of Wendy and Julia Shaw
That's a proud
of Rome,
program
Georgia.
now. And they gave Rockmart a good handle. Maybe LFO is making some strides. They used to be a pretty good football team back in my heyday.
Representing the junior
It's
class
been
is
20
Amelia
years,
Whitefield.
No offense.
Amelia is the daughter
I've been out
of
of high school
Lauren
longer
and
than you,
Chad
so-
Whitefield of Rome.
So a rip at me is a rip
She
at
is
myself,
escorted
right?
by Mason McKenzie.
So Cartersville
Mason
coming off of
McKenzie is the son of Brandy and Bo
59
McKenzie of Rome, Georgia.
last week is
Standing in for Mason tonight is his father, Bo.
as were the Colonels last week. So the Hurricanes have no problem.
I'm sorry, I think we got this
perfect
mixed up.
seasons. Pell's leading last one 34-3. Model up 13-0 over the high-flying Wolverines of Dade County.
Representing
now
the junior
all
class
over the
is
yard.
Madison
Well, they're getting
Schick.
shut out by the Blue Devils.
Maddie is the
and
daughter
a couple
of
of other
Michael and
points of
Linda
interest here.
Schick
Our
of
Mercy Best
Sun
Academy
Lake
was canceled due to some
Arizona.
COVID concerns, so they're trying to reschedule that game. And then Adairsville
Escorting
and Coahog
Maddie
Creek
is
will match up
Patrick
tomorrow
Shelley.
night as they're trying to give Coahog Creek a chance to catch their breath, playing 3 games in 9 days.
I think that just went
It really
previously.
is. I've never heard of anything
And
like
standing in
that.
for Patrick is his father, James Shelley.
Getting out there. And
Thanks for
they've
being
been
such a good
competing in
sport,
games a lot
everybody.
better than they have in the past, still not getting the W's.
All
but
right.
it is good to see that squad
And
at
now,
Coahog Creek
representing the
taking
senior
some
class.
steps forward with their program, because it's been tough sledding
First,
so far for that program. but
Grace
it's been a lot more
Darlinghouse.
competitive. Well, we'll continue throughout the night to give you more scoring updates.
Grace is
from
the
other games
daughter of
around
John and
the
Cezanne
area,
Darlinghouse
and
of
hard to believe
Fayetteville,
it, but this is
Arkansas.
week 8 of high
She
school
is
football
escorted
in the
tonight
state of
by
Georgia.
Austin Brown.
Obviously, this is the 7th game that Darlington's played. They had a bye week
Austin
at
is
the
the
beginning
son
of
of
the
Melinda
season.
and Steve
They'll have a
Brown
bye week
of
at the end of
Rome,
the
Georgia.
year, in between the regular season and if they get into the playoffs, which I suspect
The next
they will find a
representative
way
of
to
the
do.
senior class
But right now,
is
it's the team
Grace
that came
Lyon.
into the night 0-5. I mentioned that Coach Atha.
Grace is the daughter of Lucy and
interview
Anthony Lyons
before
of
the game
Nassau,
for a pregame
Bahamas.
show, and he was
She
very
is
quick to
escorted
say
tonight
that
by
0-5
Cam
is
Evans.
deceiving, that this team's played some really good teams, and they're a good football
Cam is
team.
the son
Without
of
a
Charlotte
doubt.
and Miles
They've got
Evans
their hands full.
of
Has a
Nassau,
chance to fight back
Bahamas.
and see if they can claw back in the ball.
Indeed.
Representing
We're going
the
to take
senior
another break
class.
here at halftime. We're going to send it back to the studio, 27-14.
Nadira
If you just tuned
Atalante.
in, Mount Paran over Darlington with a whole half
If you would direct your attention to the Jumbotron.
winning the toss and deferring to the second half. We're going to send it
Nadira
back to the
is the
studio.
daughter
We come
of
back, we're going to
Funmi
have some
and
statistical
Rashid
data that we're going to
Atalante
share.
of Mableton,
We'll be back on the
Georgia.
Darlington Tiger Radio Network.
To be escorting Nadira would be Jonathan Murphy. Jonathan Murphy is the son of Katrina and Bryant Murphy of Durham, North Carolina. Neither Nadira or Jonathan could be with us tonight. Let's all show them that we're thinking of them tonight. Representing the senior class is Larissa Koglitz. Larissa is the daughter of Luciana and Leonardo Grinstein of Fortaleza, Brazil. She is escorted by Eli Baldwin. Eli is the son of Christy and Joseph Baldwin of Guadalajara, Mexico, and Rome, Georgia. Next, representing the senior class, is Elle Smith. Elle is the daughter of Brenda and Wade Hoyt of Rome, Georgia, and Carter and Carrie Smith of Cartersville, Georgia. She is escorted tonight by Riccardo Friziani. Riccardo is the son of Katia Pesce and Luca Friziani of Genoa, Italy. Lastly, representing the senior class is Jenna Harrison. Jenna is the daughter of Judith and Richard Harrison of Kingston, Jamaica. She is escorted tonight by Patrick Sheely. Patrick is the son of Maureen and Jim Sheely of Cartersville, Georgia. At this time, we would like to welcome back to Darlington last year's homecoming king, Carson Swiger. Carson is a freshman at Clemson University, and he is currently majoring in biology. Carson will be awarding the crowns to this year's homecoming court winners. We would like to congratulate all the members of this year's homecoming court. Let's give them a round of applause. If your name is called, we ask that you step to the 50-yard line. We will now announce the winner of the Prince and Princess from the junior class. First, the Prince. This year's Prince is Patrick Shelley.
All right, we're back here on the halftime show.
Could not be out here, but his father, James Shelley, will be receiving the crown in his
Handsome tonight. They clean up nicely. Well,
this
year
year,
we're going to run down some halftime statistics, and we certainly really appreciate Stacy Norton and
Maria
our buddy Melvin over here, Melvin Scott. They're doing a tremendous job putting this together, and it makes our lives a lot easier because we've pointed out a couple of times with the 2-man show. It's really tough to come up with stats and stuff, so it's nice to have that luxury.
It sure is.
So we'll run those down. We're going to start with the rushing for Harrison Allen. He'd have 5 carries for 20 yards, 4 yards a carry. He would score a touchdown. For Patrick Shelley, having another big game. He would rush the ball 5 times for 112 yards, 22.4 yards
At
a
this
carry,
time,
and score a touchdown.
We will now
I believe
announce the winner of the King and Queen from the senior class.
And as far as
this
passing,
year's
he was 8 of 12
homecoming
for
king
64 yards,
is
1 interception.
Lawson
in terms
Brown.
of receiving yards, it would be 3 receptions for Thomas Beckett, 15 yards. Gabe Simpkins would have 1 catch for 9 yards. You would have Thomas Speed picking up 2 catches for 29 yards, and then 2 catches for Bowden Allens, who we've not seen have a tremendous amount of targets this season. He'd make 2 great catches for 11 yards. And then as far as tackles are concerned, you would have 7 for Darius Smith, 3 for Harrison Allen. Tyler Watkins with
Grace
4.
Garlinghouse.
You would get Joseph Marion with 2. You have 2 for Patrick Shelley, 1 for Bowden Owens. Thomas Speed would have a couple. Then you would have 2 tackles for Luke McDermott. Luke Lewis would have 1, and then Davis Watson would pick up 3 during that first half. And so that's the stats for your Darlington Tigers. And the stats for the Mount Paran Christian Eagles, you would have 18 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown for Mr. Jermaine. We called his name a lot in that first half. Then you would have number 24, Nick Ayola. Or, excuse me, I'm getting a little confused here. We'll come back to that in just a little bit. I need to look at that a little bit closer before we dove into that. It looked a little bit different. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Sorry about that. But right now, Mount Paran leads the game. That's the most important statistic, 27-14 over Darlington with 6:45 left here in the halftime period. We're going to take a break, send it back to the studio, and we'll come back and continue with our halftime show. Again, at the end of the game, the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake.
Very good. If all the homecoming court would gather closer to the 50-yard line, everybody come together
Let's send it back to the studio
for a couple of pictures. Again, let's hear it for our 2020 homecoming court. Congratulations. We would like to ask now that everybody depart the field, make their way quickly off the track and back toward the stands. Thank you so much for your participation in this year's homecoming court.
Indeed, we are standing by, and thank you very much for relaying those scores to us. Always enjoy hearing what's going on around the area in high school football. And now that we're getting towards the end of the season, things are going to start to shake they're going to start to shake out in terms of what the regions look like in the playoff picture. But we have a few more weeks to go. Let's not wish away the season. I mean, just enjoying the heck out of it. Can't believe that this is the 7th game that we've been to this year.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's the 7th game that we've been to, and it's the first region game. And an interesting first half here at Chris Hunter Stadium.
And now that I've noticed, Ian, that they have put us back on the video screen, I just want to flash this new shirt that we have here. Going to be wearing this one tomorrow as we go to, or actually next week as we go to Christian Heritage. So go Tigers. We're excited about that.
I have my purple on. Matt's in his Georgia red and black tonight.
No, not Georgia red and black. That's called, it was the only thing that was clean.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, after you said that, I think when I get home tonight, I'm going to take this shirt and it's going to go to it's going to go to somebody else. Let's just put it that way.
You would claim the Falcons, but they're 1-5.
Up with the white and gold. But nonetheless, we're glad you're with us here at halftime. We got about a minute and a half till the halftime period expires, and then we'll get ready for that 3-minute warm-up period and get you ready for the second half to begin. But looking back at the first half of football, if you want to do that real quick, Mount Paran, they lead this one 27-14. Well, how did that transpire? Well, they scored on their first 4 drives of the football game before Darlington was able to mount some stops on defense. They would score on a 54-yard run from Griffith Tesh on their first drive of the game. Darlington would have to punt the ball away. Mount Paran would get the football back with 8:48 left here in the first quarter. They would run the ball from 3 yards. Jermaine would hit pay dirt, put them up 7-0 after the extra point was good. It would be a turnover on downs for Darlington on their second drive, and their last drive they'd get in that first quarter. Then as you got into the you have another drive for Mount Paran Christian there in that first quarter that would carry over to the second quarter. That would end up in a 66-yard pass to Griffith Tesh for a touchdown. They'd go up 21-0 after the extra point was good. That was with 11:47 left in the second quarter. Finally, Darlington would find their way to score on a big play. It was a 61-yard run for Patrick Shelley to get in the end zone. Brinson Sumner came on for the extra point. He would get it through the uprights, and that would move the score to 21-7. And then getting the ball back would be the Mount Paran Christian Eagles. They would score on a 53-yard touchdown run from Jet. Extra point was no good this time. At that point in time, the score was 27-7. Darlington got the ball back. An 11-yard run for Harrison Allen. PAT was good. 27-14 was your score. And then not much doing the rest of the way there in that first half as far as scoring is concerned.
Yeah, but there's some momentum to build off of. Darlington got their first 2 stops defensively there at the end of the half, and they're going to have to get a few more of those if they're going to climb back in and win this ball game. And you also had, they got the stop. They were able to drive the field. Unfortunately, they were intercepted there at the end of the half as they were making a bid to score and bring it back to a one-possession game. But you just got to take it one possession at a time the rest of the way and see if you can get back in it.
Absolutely, Ian. And, the Darlington Tigers started the season 4-2, but all that's out the window now. You're looking to go 1-0. 1-0 in terms of taking it 1 week at a time, and 1-0 in region play and clinching a playoff berth here in the opening week of region play, and that's all that matters, and you got a whole half to work with to try to get it done. So we'll see if that momentum that the defense had picked up carries over as we get ready to start the second half in less than 2 minutes. And I just got a text message from our buddy Steve Conrad, and let's see if this is one that I can read on the air. He said, "You look great in red and black." And he said, I don't know. I'm not sure what the rest of that actually means. So I'm going to leave it right there. But thank you very much. I will accept that as a compliment. But this shirt is going to be retired when I get home because of the comment that Ian made.
Yeah, hey, man, I'm just calling it like I see it.
I'm switching to purple. That's going to be my color. No question about it. Well, again, 27-14, Darlington trails Mount Paran. Why don't we take one more 1 minute timeout, just a 1 minute timeout on the radio broadcast. When we come back, it'll be time for the second half to kick off here from inside Chris Hunter Stadium at Jerry Sharp Field. We will be back. 1 minute. Indeed, we are back here at Chris Hunter Stadium, Darlington trailing 27-14, but we're getting ready to kick off the second half, and hopefully they will have grabbed some momentum and we'll be able to get things rolling here and get back in the game.
Get in the locker room, make some adjustments, see what you can do, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they've been moving it. They've just had drives that stalled, and they're not going to be able to do that the rest of the way. You're going to have to get points, I think, on just about every possession.
So the Darlington Tigers will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. They won the toss, deferred, and you're going to have Luke McDermott, who is going to be back deep up the middle of the field here for the Tigers. Also Bethel and Watkins will be out there as well, and really you don't want to kick it to any one of those three guys.
Each has the ability to break one and make something special happen. That'd be a great way to start the second half.
Indeed it would be. Big weekend of football coming up college-wise. Of course, the Big Ten is going to be back in action this weekend. That's going to add a new wrinkle to football watching this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to see Justin Fields at noon tomorrow against the Cornhuskers. They wanted to play football.
They're going to play some big boy football this
They
weekend.
sure are.
Oh, my goodness. That's going to be a long kick into the end zone, and it will be an automatic touchback, and Darlington will have to go 80 yards to get to pay dirt.
And they really, really relied on the passing game. Obviously, they saw something when scouting the Eagles. They've tried to attack them through the air. We've only seen 5 carries for Harrison Allen, and while Shelley had a lot of rushing yards, a lot of those were when the pass plays broke down and he scrambled. So we'll see if they continue that trend in the second half.
Now the Tigers go back to the line of scrimmage, looking fired up and ready to roll. They're going to have 4 wide receivers in the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley drops the snap. He's going to pick it up and run, breaks a tackle, shakes off another one, and makes something out of absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the fact that he got positive yardage out of that was a miracle. Not the way you want to start, but Shelley was able to keep it from being a negative play. And you've got an Eagle down on the field, Matt, so we're going to have an injury timeout.
Thank you for tuning in to High School Football Night on WLAQ, Darlington Tigers Football Radio Network, or if you're watching the video stream back at home. It's great to have you along with us, and it's just great to have this high school football season rolling along here. I know that there have been a lot of teams around the state of Georgia that have had to reschedule games and things of that nature, but everybody's doing their part to try to keep things moving in a positive direction. It's been a tremendous amount of fun. It's been good for people's morale to get these games in and have some fun for a change.
No doubt about it. It's homecoming tonight, so I'm sure you got a lot of people that are in town and enjoying their first Darlington game in a while. The alumni here to support the Tigers, and just a good atmosphere here at Chris Hunter Stadium tonight.
Micah Munford is going to be walking off the field under his own power, and the way he's walking off now, I think we may even see him back in the game tonight.
Yeah, a little hitch in the giddy up there, but we'll see if he gets back out there.
2nd and 7. 4 wide receiver set. Allen in the backfield with Patrick Shelley as he gets ready to take the snap. Darlington trying to put something together here. And I'm sure you're getting a lot of perspective from the coaches in the booth right next to us over our microphones. Man goes in motion, and that's Bethel, and we're going to have a flag.
Yeah.
A little bit too much motion there.
Yep. Not the way you wanted to start this half with the mistakes. You have had a low snap and now a penalty.
So the Tigers back to the drawing board here after they mark off the penalty. And it's going to bring up 2nd down and 12 with the ball now on the 18-yard line, as the Tigers are going to line up with Bethel and Bagby on the far side as wide receivers. You're going to have Thomas Speed and then also Tyler Watkins here on the near side. Working right to left, there's a snap. It's on the turf, picked up, passed quickly to Thomas Speed, get some room to run. And again, you see the Tigers make a little something out of a play that was not going right.
Another bad snap, too. Just stumbling out of the gate here. But again, credit to Patrick Shelley for managing the snap, getting that pass off somehow, and picking up some positive yards. It sets up a 3rd and 8 here. Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah, third and 8. Okay.
Yep. Shotgun formation. There's a snap. Shelley drops into the pocket, looking to pass. He's going to put the ball in the air and almost connects with his wide receiver who can't hang on and kind of slaps the turf after the play because that's one he felt like he should have had. And there was a lot of contact right as he caught the ball and just couldn't quite hang on to it, Ian.
Will Bagby was the targeted receiver there, and Shelley really put some heat on that pass. He just couldn't handle it. It might have been short of the marker anyway, but Darlington having to punt after going 3 and out, and a rough start to the second half for this Tiger offense.
So here comes the kick, a booming kick there for Brinson Sumner as usual, drops and then bounces towards the far side of the field, and it's going to be down at about the 34-yard line. That's where you're going to see the Eagles set up shop and go to work.
And Darlington's defense desperately needs to get a stop here. We talked about how imperative it was for them to score on that opening drive, and it went in the exact opposite direction with a 3 and out, and now good field position for the Eagles.
Eagles scored on their first 4 drives of the football game, missed an extra point after their last touchdown, and that's how they arrived at 27 points. Darlington scored both of their touchdowns in the second quarter of the game. It took a little while to get into the end zone. There's the snap. They're going to snap it. It looked like directly to number 29, Nick Germain, and he picked up maybe 3 yards. Did they snap it to him?
No, it was a pitch. It was a pitch. Just a quick pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. That's going to bring up second down and 7. Ball is on the 37-yard line. So a pickup of 3 there for the Mount Paran Christian Eagles, who lead this one 27-14, 9:24 left here in the third quarter. Going to have one wide receiver to the near side. That's going to be George Jackson III. Under center is McKendry. He'll take the snap, and he's going to fake a pass, hand it off, and running is Griffith Tesh. He's got a head full of steam and a lot of room. And he is going to get it all the way down to about the 38 before they haul him out of bounds.
Mount Paran, that time, just a counter play, and it worked out well. Griffith Tesh has done a really good job. They like to get him out on the edge and utilize his speed, and he picks up another first down in Darlington territory at the 48-yard line.
So Mount Paran Christian with a fresh set of downs goes to the huddle. They will now break the huddle, come back to the line of scrimmage. Just under 9 minutes to play. They're going to line up with 2 wide receivers, one on the far side, one on the near side, a couple of wing backs in the formation. Man goes in motion. They're going to give it to the motion man who's coming up this way, and he is going to be dropped after a gain of maybe a yard if he got that.
Yeah, I'll call that one a no gain. That was really well played. That was Jet Allen, and it was Tyler Watkins that blew that play up in the backfield, and then great pursuit by Thomas Speed to get the tackle.
So the ball is going to stay right there at the 48-yard line, bringing up a second down and 10 here for Mount Paran Christian. Bringing in the play call is the quarterback, Andrew McKendry, after a quick trip over to the sidelines. Getting some instruction from their offensive coordinator, who is Logan Beer, by the way. Second down and 10 coming up here for the Eagles with a couple of wide receivers on the near side, one on the far side. Man went in motion. They were going to throw a quick out to the motion man. It's incomplete to Jermaine, and that brings up a third down and 10.
Yeah, and that was ugly. I think they were trying to throw that back behind the line of scrimmage, but it was blown up. Well defended by Darlington. And that is a rare 3rd and 10. Now, Mount Paran has really, they have to. Absolutely, Matt. They've got to get off the field on this play.
So 3rd down and 10. Mount Paran Christian coming back to the line of scrimmage, working from left to right. One wide receiver here on the near side of the formation. Everybody else in tight. Man goes in motion. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off and try to run it up the middle of the field. Cutting inside is Sam Griffith, and he's going to be stopped well short of the first down. That's going to bring up 4th and about 6 or 7.
And that is the 3rd consecutive defensive stop for this Darlington defense. And it's a 4th and 7 right there inside the 45-yard line of Darlington. You would think Mount Paran would punt,
Time ticking here in this third quarter, 7:35 and ticking, 27-14. Mount Paran leading Darlington, 27-14. Back is going to be Patrick Shelley and Luke McDermott for the Tigers, and punting this ball away is going to be Batch. There's the kick. It goes over Shelley's head and into the end zone, a touchback.
So Darlington will start their second possession at the 20-yard line with an opportunity to kind of rework what they wanted to happen on that opening drive and get back in this thing with a score. But encouraging signs on defense, Matt. I mean, Mount Paran on their first 4 drives was unstoppable, and now that's 3 consecutive punts that they've had to have on their offensive possessions.
So Darlington back to the drawing board here, and they will line up, as you mentioned, on their own 20 as they get ready to start this drive, trailing by a couple of scores, but threatening to try to get back in this football game. This is the opening night of region play for 7A private, and a win would get either one of these teams in the playoffs no matter what happens the rest of the year. 3 wide receiver set. Shelley in the gun with Allen in the backfield. There's the snap, high snap, pulls it down, gives it to Allen, comes to the near side, cuts in and picks up 3 or 4 yards. That was effort there by Allen.
Oh, yeah, he had a chance to break that one, and Allen was tackled by Allen as Jet. Allen came in and tripped him up before he could break a big one.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Tigers. Darius Smith is out there for this package. 2 wide receivers on the far side. That speed in the slot is Bethel on that far side. Here on the near side is going to be Simpkins. Shelley from the gun with Allen flanked to his left. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. Go back to Allen. Finds a big hole. Stays up. He's going to be down to about the 42-yard line. A first down and then a big chunk of yards after that.
Just a simple dive play there from Allen, and we haven't seen a huge dose of Harrison Allen tonight, but they are leaning on him on this drive, and it's working out as they have something going here on their second possession of the second half.
1st and 10 from the Darlington 43. The Tigers working right to left, trailing, but trying to get something going here on this second drive of the second half. Allen again, he picks up a big chunk of yards, about 9 on first down.
And this is really the first time in the ball game that Darlington has really made an effort to establish the run. Right now they're getting good push up front, and Allen's running with a lot of power.
So 2nd down and 3 here after a pickup of 7. We're under the 6-minute mark here of this third quarter. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Darlington stringing together some plays and putting together a drive, keeping it on the ground, but this time the defense was ready. But he gives some extra effort at the end of the play, ekes out about 2 or 3 yards perhaps.
It looks like they stopped his forward progress there, and Allen was looking gassed before that carry. He's got his hands on his hips. I think he needs a breather. He's calling for a breather.
But he's staying on. He is going to be to the left of Shelley. 3rd down and 3 coming up here for the Tigers, almost to the 5-minute mark now. 2 wide receivers to the near side, a couple on that far side. And Shelley getting set to take the snap. Here it is. He is going to tuck it and run the football. He's got the first down, stays up, breaks a tackle. He's down to the 30 to about the 28-yard line before he's pulled down by Carter Rooms of the Eagles.
And the Tigers have something cooking here. Late in the third quarter, Shelley had the first down and was able to break a few tackles and get a big gain there, setting them up with first down inside the Mount Paran 30-yard line.
So Shelley was going to line him up in the gun. He's got 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 in the near. He is going to fake the handoff to Allen, and he's going to take a sack. He was looking like he was going to throw it to Allen, and then he looked back up the middle of the field, and he was greeted by an Eagle.
Well, and that Eagle was Nick Oyola, who really likes to spoil these drives. He had the interception at the end of the first half. That time, Shelley got a little too comfortable in the pocket, and Oyola buried him into the turf for a loss of 6.
So that brings up 2nd down and 17 here for the Tigers. That'll back them up to the 36-yard line, still on the Eagle side of the field and trying to overcome that sack and loss of yards. 4 wide receiver set working right to left. Darlington trailing 27-14 with under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter. They're going to throw a quick pass over to Gabe Simpkins. Kind of hesitates and finds a hole and gets down to close to the 22, but we got a flag.
Yeah, that one's coming back, and Tyler Watkins is upset. He doesn't feel like the call is just, but the flag is on the ground, and that one's going to come back here. Watching the replay, I didn't really have an angle to see one way or the other. It doesn't really matter. The refs have already made their mind up, so what was a really good play is going to be marked off. It'll be a spot foul, so we'll see where the ball ends up.
Fans are stopping their feet too. Queens, we will rock you here tonight inside Chris Hunter Stadium, trying to feed some energy to this Tigers team that's trying to climb back in this game, trailing 27-14.
This is 4-down territory, right?
I would certainly think so.
They ended up losing a yard net after that penalty, setting up 2nd and 18. It's a shame, too, because it was a really good play.
4 wide receiver set for the Tigers, 2nd and 18 coming up. There's the snap. Shelley dropping back, looking to throw. He's got company, and he'll put it up the middle of the field. Did he grab it? He's got it in his hand, saying it's a catch. And I believe it is. That was Thomas Speed. What a catch, Ian.
And what a throw. Shelley stepped up into the pocket and was in trouble. I thought he was going to be sacked. He was hit as he threw, and he spun that in there. And from the replay that I'm seeing here, Speed did a great job getting his hands under that ball. And that's a completed pass, setting up 3rd down and 2.
So the Tigers at the line of scrimmage now at the 21-yard line. 3 yards to go to get that first down. Allen in the backfield, 3 wide receiver set. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Allen. Nice stiff arm, stays up. He's at the 15, the 10, 5, into the end zone. 21-yard run for Mr. Allen, and the Darlington Tigers are within a score.
They are, Matt. They have fought back. It has not been pretty at times, but they are right back in this ball game, and one stop away from having an opportunity to score and possibly take their first lead.
And where Harrison Allen, they had not utilized him a tremendous amount throughout the game, he has really busted it wide open here in this second half in the third quarter.
Yeah, he had several carries on that drive. Shelley was sharp as well, picking up a big first down with his legs. And then that pass play to Thomas Speed on the previous play was huge, as it looked like he might get sacked, and they were able to get that in 3rd and manageable.
Sumner on for the extra point. It's on the way, and it is good. We now have a 27-21 football game. Darlington is 6 points from Mount Paran's lead.
And they were trailing this ball game 27-7, so that's 14 unanswered so far from the Tigers. Defense has gotten 3 straight stops. A 4th would set the Tiger offense up with an opportunity to go down and possibly take the lead. The momentum's back on the side of the Tigers, Matt, and it didn't look like that was going to be a possibility there for a little while.
It really did, and this game just feels totally different than it did just a matter of minutes ago. That touchdown was absolutely huge. Darlington finally on defense started to get a few stops. Their offense is moving the ball. And again, Harrison Allen with a big drive. The Tigers offense with a big drive that ends up in points, and they have closed the gap to 6.
Hey, just a quick update. 21-21, Blessed Trinity in Calhoun.
Man,
that's got to be a heck of an environment up there at the Reeve.
I can't even imagine it, man. Can't even imagine it. 2 Titans going head-to-head tonight at the Reeve.
Yeah, what a region, man. I would like to see Calhoun, Blessed Trinity, and Carsville all play each other. Those are games I would certainly go to if I wasn't where I absolutely want to be, which is right here, watching the Tigers fight back in this ball game.
Ain't nothing like a Tiger on a Friday night.
I've heard that.
Yep, and it's the truth. So the Tigers will get ready to kick it back to the Mount Paran Christian Eagles with some momentum, and now only down by a score, 27-21 with 2:33 left in the third quarter. And Brinson Sumner, who just tacked on the extra point, puts the boot on it now. And this one is going to go into the end zone. I believe that's another touchback.
Absolutely. So Sumner does his job.
Things are getting real interesting here tonight. Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Don't go anywhere, folks. You don't want to miss any of this football game between these two teams.
And we've seen some exciting finishes already. but it's time for one to go in the favor of the Tigers.
It truly is. They are due, and hopefully that'll be the case tonight when it counts. All right, Mount Paran Christian's going to go to work from the 20. And again, Andrew McKendry, their quarterback's going to roll up under center with a wide receiver to the far side. And here comes the snap. He is going to take it, roll out, looking to throw on first down, connects with the wide receiver, Griffith Tesh, and he runs down the sideline for a big gain of first down. And that was a nice play to kick off this drive for Mount Paran.
They go play action on first down, catch Darlington on their heels, and Griffith Test just rolls out from that A-back position. He's wide open in the flat. A good throw there by McKendry.
So now the ball is going to end up at the 38-yard line. Mount Paran Christian still in their own territory. They came into this contest 0-5, and how that happened, I have no idea. They're going to send a wide receiver to the far side. Quarterback McKendry rolls up under center. A couple of wing backs for this set. Man goes in motion. They're going to go up middle, and there's going to be a flag.
Yeah, and that is a procedure penalty on Mount Paran, so that'll back them up 5 yards after a nice play to open the drive. The miscue will put them at 1st and 15, back at their 33.
Darlington trailed 27-14 at halftime. Came out, received the opening kickoff, went 3 and out. Mount Paran would punt after their first drive. Darlington would get the ball back and a 21-yard run, capping off a really, really nice 80-yard drive for the Tigers, would put them now within 6 after the extra point was good from Brinson Sumner. Here comes Mount Paran Christian back to the line. First down and 15 after the penalty yards. And they're going to have a wide receiver on the near side this time. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off. Running the ball is Jet Allen, and he runs out of room on the sidelines. Not a lot there.
Huge play because you're keeping them, Matt, off schedule. And this Darlington defense has made some adjustments. We're starting to see that pay dividends here in the second half.
Looks like a totally different team right now than they did for the first half of the football game. 1:11 left here in the third quarter. Glad you're with us tonight. We're going to have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up after the game. And I see some Darlington Tigers that graduated from last year. See if I can recognize some of these young men. Colin Rogers is here tonight. Called his name a lot over the last couple of years. There's the snap. Quarterback is going to look to throw. He puts it in the air and connects with Jet Allen and picks up a big chunk of yards, setting up a third down.
Got a flag. Looks like a hold. So a nice play there, but it's coming back. And this is just what the doctor ordered right here. That'll be 2nd and 25. That backs them all the way up to their own 23. And things are starting to go Darlington's way a little bit. That was not the case in the first half. Matt, there's some big fellas down there.
Tate Ratledge is down there.
I thought that might be Tate.
Yep, they got obviously the Bulldogs don't play this weekend, so it looks like that young man gets to spend some time at home this weekend.
And what a good weekend
to
be
see.
here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That wasn't the case because their game got rescheduled, so that works out for him to be home on homecoming.
Quarterback's going to roll under center, Andrew McKendry. Wide receiver to the near side. And here comes the snap. They're going to hand it off and go towards the far side and pick up a few yards, setting up a third down and a long way to go.
Yeah, you just got to play safe on this one. You've got the opportunity to keep it in front of you. Don't take the bait on any of these crazy play actions that they run.
There goes another train.
How
many is that, Ian?
That's only 2 that I've heard.
I know there was one right as the game was getting ready to kick off. It's train number 3.
Train number 3.
Wow.
That's the record for this. That ties the record for the season. So if we get another random train here in the 4th, and it looks like Mount Paran is going to let time expire on this third quarter.
Well, it's going to go down to the final quarter, folks. The final 12 minutes of this game is forthcoming. Right now, Mount Paran on top, but Darlington has closed the gap to 6. Mount Paran 27, Darlington 21. They'll put 12 minutes back on the clock. We'll get ready for the final frame after we take a 1-minute break here on the Darlington Tiger Football Network. Well, we are back here inside Chris Hunter Stadium at Jerry Sharp Field as we get ready for the final 12 minutes of this football game that has just really become a really exciting game here in the second half if you're a Tiger fan.
Yeah, absolutely. Darlington has a chance here. It's 3rd and 21. If they can get off the field, they'll get the ball back with a chance to take their first lead of the night. And when they were down 27-7, you wondered if a lead was going to be a possibility at all. But they have not quit. They've made the adjustments they needed to, and we'll see if they can get off the field here.
Well, the Eagles will be at the line of scrimmage with a 3rd and 21 with the ball on their own 27, now working from right to left after we switched sides at the beginning of this quarter. There's the snap. They give it to Jermaine, and he is dropped after a pickup of about 2, and that's going to force them to punt.
Sure is, and it should set Darlington up with good field position.
And boy, what a different feeling game we have right now. The momentum is 100% in Darlington's favor right now.
Early in the second quarter, the air was out of this stadium. It's just crazy to see how momentum can shift throughout the course of a ball game, and big credit to the Tigers for not quitting, but you knew they wouldn't.
They never do. And here's the snap. It's high, pulled down, and kicked. A Tiger almost got his hand on that one. It will be fielded by Patrick Shelley, gets his arms around it at the 25, trying to find a running lane, and he does. He gets it down to the 36-yard line before he's dropped, and honestly, Ian, I thought he was going to find a little bit more room than he did.
Yeah, he put a good effort in there, but good coverage by Mount Paran as he shook off to his right on that return, picked up a block, and then he was brought down right at the 35, but regardless, the Tigers have the ball with a chance to take the lead.
And they definitely seem to have a lot more confidence and certainly a lot more momentum right now than they had much of the first half. So let's see if they can continue that momentum and confidence for the remainder of the football game and hopefully find a way to come out with a W here at home. We're on the road next week. Shotgun formation, 4-wide receiver set. They're going to throw a quick pass here to Thomas Speed. They are able to connect, and he gets it down to close to the 44-yard line, and a very good pickup there on first down.
And that's Speed's 4th reception of the night. 3 of them have been on those quick out routes there. He had a big catch on the last drive, and he's coming up a little bit gimpy. Hopefully he's okay, but that sets up 2nd and 3. Nice gain there to start this drive.
Ball now on the 43-yard line. Darlington working left to right, trailing by 6, 27-21. Shelley looks off to the sidelines. 2 wide receivers to the far side. Speed's here to the near side. Shelley ready to take the snap with Allen in the backfield. They're going with Allen. He cuts up to the near side. He's down to the 50, to the 45 on Mount Paran's side of the field with a fresh set of downs.
Nice pickup there by Allen. We have seen a heavy dose of him in the second half, which is to be expected, but they had kind of shied away from him in the first. He has really got his groove going here in the fourth quarter.
The ball now on the 45-yard line. Fresh set of downs for the Tigers on Mount Paran's side of the field, trailing it by 6. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near. There's the snap, a give to Allen, and he's only going to get about 2 there, and that was because of that extra effort at the end of the play.
Yeah, that was well defended, but did get positive yardage there on first down.
So 2nd and 8 here for the Tigers. We're under 9, or we're at the 9:44 mark here of the fourth quarter. Darius Smith comes off, going out onto the field as Bowden Owens. Allen stays on for this package. You're going to have Bethel in the slot. And here to the near side, you're going to have Thomas Speed, a couple of wide receivers over to the far side. There's the snap. Quick pass here to the near side to Bethel that will be completed, and a pickup of about 4.
Yeah, that one came out a little low. Bethel did a good job to reel that in, but was not able to advance it.
And that'll set up a 3rd and 4. Tigers back to the line of scrimmage quickly. They're going to have 4 wide receivers for this package, and Allen in the backfield with Shelley. They're going to pass it here to the near side to Speed again. Did he get far enough to get the first down? He did.
Absolutely. Speed did a good job knowing where the marker was. He got to his spot. He turned around and made the catch, his 5th reception of the game, and a huge first down for Darlington as they push further towards what could be the go-ahead score.
And the fans are really into it here on the Darlington side of things. Pretty decent crowd there for Mount Paran on the other sidelines. There's the snap, pump fake here for Shelley. He's got company, and he's going to be dropped for a sack and a loss. He's still up, but now he's down.
Yeah, they get him on the sack there. Darlington had been setting that play up because they've been going to those quick hitch routes and outs, and they tried to pump fake and hit one deep that time, but great coverage by Mount Paran. It was not there, and that was a coverage sack for sure.
2nd down and 12 here for the Tigers as they go back to the drawing board. They got a 4 wide receiver set, 2 on the far side, 2 on the near, working from left to right, trailing 27-21 with just about 8 minutes to play in this football game. Shelley with a snap in his hands. He's going to put it up the middle of the field. Incomplete pass. He threw an absolute dart to the wide receiver. I thought he might have a shot at it, but couldn't quite handle it.
And that was Bethel trying to reel that one in. It was behind him and back into the defender. He took a really hard hit from Jed Allen. He's coming off limping, but a good effort there by Bethel. He just couldn't make the play.
That brings up 3rd down and 13 now for the Tigers from the 37-yard line on Mount Paran's side of the field. Trailing by 6. We're at the 8-minute mark here in just a few seconds. Trips to the far side. There's the snap. Shelley looks that way. Now he is going to be sacked again.
Oh, man.
He's taken quite a few sacks in this football game.
Yeah, he's done a good job to avoid them for the most part, but just in a bad situation there. The coverage was good downfield, and by the time he made the decision to scramble, it was just too late. But things were going right for Darlington there until that set of downs once they got down to the 34-yard line and they started moving backwards.
So now on to punt is going to be Brinson Sumner here on 4th and 23 with the ball on the 48-yard line. Here comes the kick. Let's see if he can pin him back. It's going to be a lot of air under that one. It'll drop at about the 10, and they will not touch it. It'll die right at about the 8-yard line, so he pins him back inside the 10.
Great punt, and they're calling on this Darlington defense to come out and get another stop.
Well, what a football game this has turned into, folks. As we pointed out to you several times throughout our broadcast at one point of the game, Darlington was trailing 27-7. They would close the gap before halftime to 27-14. Had an opportunity to close it even more, but an interception was thrown and a turnover for the Tigers late there in that first half. Did not score on the opening drive of the half, but they scored on their second drive on a 21-yard run from Allen. Extra point was good, and that closed it to where we are now, 27-21 in favor of Mount Paran. So Mount Paran goes back to work. This time they're going to open up the drive with the ball on their own 9-yard line. And the snap is from under center. They're going to hand it off, try to get a little room to work with, and they pick up about 3 or 4 yards on that dive play.
But Darlington has been much more sound in the second half against that dive play. They're not allowing the big plays that Mount Paran was able to get in the first half, and that's been the difference.
So the Eagles will go back to the line of scrimmage now with a 2nd and 6 with the ball on their own 13-yard line. Stay tuned after the game tonight for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show, but not before we bring you the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Under center is going to be McKendry. Everybody in tight for this set. There's the snap. They're going to hand it off to Jermaine, and he is going to be hauled out of bounds. There is a flag. It's probably going to be a hold, wouldn't you think?
Yep. It absolutely should be holding. It is holding.
On Mount Paran.
And that will back them up behind the chains, as we've seen the flags start to fly on the Eagles instead of the Tigers in this half of football.
Mount Paran scored on their first 4 drives, and then in their last 3 drives of the first half, they did not score. And then the first 2 drives, they have not scored. So let's see if Darlington can get another stop here in the second half.
They desperately need it. 6:21 left. Both teams have their full complement of timeouts. But if the Tigers could force an Eagle punt from deep in their own territory, it would set them up in great position to take that go-ahead opportunity.
So Eagles and Tigers tonight. Next week it's going to be Lions and Tigers.
No Bears.
No Bears, though. No Bears. We're going to be on the road at Christian Heritage up in Dalton next week. Under center as McKendry gets the snap in his hands, and
that
he's
play
going to be dropped.
Absolutely blown up by the Darlington defense. And now, on the shadow of their own goal line, they will line up for a third, and we'll see what the 17. Yeah. Luke Lewis asking the crowd to get up on their feet and make some noise, and the Darlington fans are obliging that request. The homecoming crowd getting a little rowdy here. They know their Tigers need them.
And the Eagles in the huddle, now coming back to the line of scrimmage with a 3rd and 17 from their own 2, backed up against their own goal line. McKendry under center. Man goes in motion. He drops back into the end zone, puts a lot of air underneath it, and that is an incomplete pass, forcing the Eagles to punt. That was a massive stop by the defense.
Oh, huge. They're going to have to punt it out of their own end zone. I like the call there by Mount Paran. Take a shot. Maybe you get a PI. Didn't work out for them. Good coverage downfield by the Tiger defense, and this should set them up with primo field position.
And let's see if they can get just that and then take advantage of it. It's been a long time since the Tigers have had a lead. They did not lead in the game against Bremen, although they tied it up a couple of different times in that game, and they've trailed this entire game.
It'd be sweet to get that lead in the fourth quarter.
It really would be.
Patrick Shelley's standing at the Mount Paran 35 right now to return this punt. We've got a flag being thrown. It is a delay game. The play clock's expired, and I guess that'll back them up half the distance.
Well, don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to have an exciting conclusion to this game no matter what happens at this point.
5:28 left. Again, both teams have all 3 timeouts.
Mount Paran's still on top, but about to punt it out of their own end zone. And
they take the safety.
They're going to take the safety.
Or there was a miscue. I'm not sure. That's 2 points for the Tigers.
Wow. Snapped out of the back of the end zone.
It was intentional.
And that'll be 2 points tacked on to the Tigers. 21, making it 27-23 in favor of Mount Paran still.
Guess they wanted to make Darlington drive the whole field. They couldn't beat them with a field goal. So they opted to give up the 2 points instead of giving them a short field. We said it would be a chess match between Coach Jordan and Coach Atha, and there's a chess move right there if you've ever seen one.
Yeah, and if you didn't know this, we were talking about this in the pregame. Most folks around the Darlington community realize this, but Mitch Jordan is a 1990 graduate of Darlington. He was an assistant coach here from 2002 to 2008, and when Tommy Atha took over the helm here at Darlington for Jerry Sharp, one of the first hires he made was bringing Mitch Jordan on as his defensive coordinator. He had to have him, and they are really good buddies. But let me tell you right now, they're getting after each other.
Absolutely. The best fights are between brothers, right?
They'll get back to the friendship later, but tonight it is war here at Chris Hunter Stadium, let me tell you. And this has been quite the battle. Darlington has trailed the entire game, but right now they've got it within 4 points, and we will have Mount Paran kick it off to the Tigers here momentarily after the safety.
And it'll be interesting to see what they choose to do here with the safety. They kick off from their 20. So will they choose to let Luke McDermott have a shot at it? He's already burned him once with a really long return. Or will they go to Watkins or Bethel, who are standing at the Darlington 35?
Charlie Batch with it teed up, ready to kick it off to the Darlington Tigers from the 20-yard line. Here comes the kick. He is going to kick it long. McDermott chases after it, catches it. He'll bring it out from around the 15, and he gets a head full of steam and is going to bring it down to the 44-yard line. Great return for McDermott.
Absolutely. McDermott looked a little surprised that they decided to kick it his way, but he made the most of it. as he fielded that one right around the Darlington 13-yard line and was able to advance it all the way out. Let's see where he ended up going down. About the 44 is where they will start.
So Darlington trailing by 4, 27-23. They were down at one point, 27-7. And they've climbed back into this football game, and you can say a lot about the offense, but man, the defense has really turned it up here in the second half as well. 3 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Shelley in the gun with Allen in the backfield working from left to right. They're going to set up shop and go to work from their own 44. They're going to throw a quick pass here to the near side to Bowden Owens. A good pickup there on first down. Let's see where they rule him out of bounds, but that's going to be probably 6 or 7 yards.
And they're playing too deep safety right now. They're just trying to prevent the big play. So right now, if it's underneath, it should be there. But the pass rush has been pretty consistent from Mount Paran as well. So they're looking to get the ball out of Shelley's hands here. But with the success they had running the ball with Harrison Allen, I won't be surprised to see them go back to the running game. With 5 minutes to go, they have the time to methodically work their way down the field. 2nd and 2. There's the snap. They're going back to Allen for this play, and he is going to escape the tackle, goes off to the far side. He's going to go out of bounds at around the 40. That's a first down and then some. What a great run for Allen. Yeah, because there was nothing there at first. Allen did a tremendous job there to bounce that play. He was greeted in the backfield. Made one guy miss, got to the outside, and picked up the first down. He's had a really great second half. First region game of the year, and it has been an exciting one so far. Hopefully it's going to turn out to be a Tigers win after trailing much of the game. We'll see what happens. We're down to the 5-minute mark here in just a couple of seconds. There's the snap to Shelley. He is going to run it all the way. He's got it down to the 40, the 30, down to the 25, breaks a tackle, and he gets down into the red zone to about the 16-yard line before they can reel him down to the ground. Patrick Shelley on a designed QB run. That was that sweep play that the Bremen Blue Devils kept running on them last week. They decided to use it for their own devices, and it was a great pickup. And Darlington is in the red zone with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The Tigers have really come to life here in this second half. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Allen in the backfield. There's the snap on first down in the red zone. He is going to carry a couple of Eagles with him down to about the 13, so that'll be a pickup of maybe around 3, but there was a lot of effort behind that run. Oh, yeah, big Freddie Coleman with the tackle there for the Eagles. He was not letting go of Harrison Allen, but he dragged him for a few yards. 2nd and 6. So the Tigers look off to the sidelines, getting some signs from offensive coordinator Brent Bell. They're going to send Bethel and Simpkins off to the far side. To the near side is Speed. Allen in the backfield. And that will be an encroachment penalty, spotting the Tigers 5 yards. Yeah, some free yards here, as it's been the tale of 2 halves. There's no doubt about it. I mean, in the first half, Darlington was making the mistakes, and Mount Paran was just gashing this defense. And this time, Mount Paran's kind of getting in their own way, and Darlington's taking advantage of those opportunities. Ball on the 8-yard line. 2nd down here for the Tigers. Looking to try to score and take the lead for the first time of the game. And if the DJ keeps playing music like this, they can't help but win. I'm pumped. Panama. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 on the far side. Allen in the backfield here with Patrick Shelley. He's going to stay to the right. And here is the snap. They're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback is going to run the football, find some great gas. He is in the end zone. Touchdown run, Tigers. An 8-yard scamper for Mr. Shelley. And the Tigers have their first lead of this football game, 29-27. They sure do. And if Brenton Sumner can come out and put this one between the uprights, they'll lead by a field goal. So Coach Jordan's strategy to take the safety might come back to bite him in this one, as it ended up. Darlington ended up with good field position anyway, was able to take it in, score the touchdown, and possibly go up by 3 with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left in the ball game. We get ready for the snap from Mason McKenzie. Handling the hole will be Jack Payne. Let's see if Brenton Sumner can kick it down Broadway. It goes, and we have a 3-point lead for the Darlington Tigers. 30-27. Darlington has their first lead of the ball game, and it happens with 3:31 after trailing 27-7. Unbelievable comeback. 23 unanswered points from the Darlington Tigers here It's homecoming night. The crowd is rowdy, and they just need to get one more stop. Now, it is going to be an all-in situation the rest of the way for the Eagles, no doubt about it. There's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. They have all their timeouts. They can run their offense without having to make too many adjustments and have an opportunity to score as time expires and not leave the Tigers with a chance to counter. This is going to be an exciting finish, man. Bottom line.
Oh, my goodness. 2 weeks in a row in which we have had exciting finishes to football games, and hopefully this time around the Tigers are going to find themselves on the winning end of things, and we'll see what happens. It's anybody's ball game at this point in time. Sumner's going to tee it up at the 40 and kick it back to the Mount Paran Christian Eagles. But, Ian, the defense has really stepped it up here in this half. Let's see if they can get one more.
Yeah, I mean, they're pitching a shutout here in the second half. Pretty remarkable considering how Mount Paran was moving the ball on them early in this game.
You're going to have Micah Lott and also, I believe, Carson Harmon back here for the Eagles. Here comes the kick from Sumner. That one's headed right towards the end zone and goes out of the back of the end zone, a touchback.
So setting the stage for you, Mount Paran will start this drive at their own 20-yard line, trailing by 3. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. It's going to be an interesting finish. Do you think Len and Randy can bring the thunder like this Darlington crowd when we get to the scoreboard show?
Man, we will see what happens.
It's a tall order.
It's going to be a fun night hearing that, though, at the end of the game.
It sure is, and there's some great games going on, but we are witnessing one right here tonight at Darlington.
And I just got a text from our buddy Steve Conrad, and he really thinks Patrick Shelley's trying to earn him some more cupcakes for the second week in a row. It'd be the third time this season. Under center is McKendry. There's the snap. Eagles with the ball, trailing for the first time of the game. Big stop, Luke Lewis. And also another Tiger over there. Was that Tyler Watkins in on that, Ian?
It was. It was Watkins and Lewis, and they've done a really good job pursuing the Eagles back sideline to sideline in the second half. You know, I think that was part of the shock factor, is just how easily Mount Paran was moving the ball against what we know to be a stingy Darlington defense. They've showed up, and they're ready to play here in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 15 here for the Eagles, trailing 27-30 to the Darlington Tigers. McKendry under center. There's the snap. He's dropping back, looking to throw, put some air underneath it, and he is going to be...
They're going to throw a flag here, Matt. Interesting call. It looked like their feet just got tangled up. We'll watch the replay, but that is going to be a pass interference. McDermott was on the coverage. He reached out and grabbed his shoulder pad. Not a bad call. Not a bad call, but you don't want to give up the touchdown. So sometimes that 15 yards is the right decision, and McDermott was just preventing the big play. I don't know if he would have run under it anyway, but they had to throw the flag on that one.
Pass interference called against the Darlington Tigers. And they will march off the penalty yards, and that's going to put them at the 30-yard line.
2:46 left. And it'll be first down with the nose of the football just on the Mount Paran 30-yard line.
McKendry under center. Everybody else is in tight except for a wide receiver here on the near side. That's Jackson the third. They're going to run it off to the far side with Jet, and he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage, I believe.
Patrick Shelley coming up from his safety position and shutting down Jet there. That play was a nightmare in the first half, but it was well pursued all the way. Watkins and Lewis were out there containing him from cutting back, and Shelley cleaned it up for a loss of 2. And the clock is ticking.
Ooh. 2nd and 11 here for the Eagles. 2:18 left here in the game. Darlington up 30-27. Just took their first lead of the game moments ago. Shotgun formation this time. We hadn't seen that from this team in the game. And there is a sack. Joe Marion all over him. There to clean it up if need be was Mason McKenzie, I believe. No, that was Tyler Watkins, excuse me, correction. What a play.
And Marion has been a force off the edge these past few weeks. He hasn't had a chance because Mount Paran doesn't really drop back and pass too much. Well, they did that time, and Marion and Watkins were back there to wreak havoc. It's 3rd and 22. And, man, I'm telling you, Matt, it didn't look like the Tigers had a shot in this thing in that first half, but they just kept fighting.
They really did, and finally started to make some things happen on the defensive side of the ball. When we started the second half, Darlington had deferred, so they got the ball, and when they went 3 and out, I thought, oh my goodness, this is absolute trouble. But then they would end up getting a stop and find a way to score, and they've really made the most of their opportunities here in the second half. They have the lead, 30-27, just under 2 minutes to play in this football game, and this is a massive play here with 3rd down and 22 with Mount Paran Christian, and their backs up against the wall from the 18-yard line. So let's see if the Tigers can get another stop. Shotgun formation, 2 wide set, 1 on each side of the formation for the Eagles. The quarterback, McKendry, is going to take the snap, drops back into the pocket, puts some good air under it, and that is incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, not a chance on that one.
What a football game, man.
And the Eagles spent a timeout on that last one. The scoreboard's still showing 3, but they stopped the clock with the timeout. It's 4th and 22. They do have 2 timeouts remaining, but Darlington should be able to melt the clock away if they can get a stop here.
So this could be your game here, folks. 4th down and 22. Ball on the 18. The fans are on their feet. They're stomping. They are ringing the cowbells. They are making lots of noise, and they're having lots of fun here tonight at Chris Hunter Stadium late in this football game. 4th down and 22 forthcoming. Quarterback rolls up under center. We're going to have a timeout.
And Darlington wanted to see how they were going to line up and make the adjustments. Good timeout here by Coach Atham.
And we aren't going anywhere. We're keeping it right here. We don't want to miss a second of this nail biter that we've got here at Darlington School. And Darlington trailed 27-7 at one point. It was 27-14 at halftime, and Darlington has scored all of the points here in this second half and now lead at 30-27 with 1:49 left to go in the football game. And I'll be honest with you, it's been a while since I've seen a Darlington crowd this fired up at a football game. What a comeback. And I love to see this enthusiasm from the crowd here late in the game as they got a shot to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They are pumped.
I'm pumped. Are you pumped?
I'm pumped. Absolutely.
This is so much fun, man. This is what it's all about, folks.
Just a great effort, man. I mean, you had every reason to kind of hang your head early in this game, but that's not the way a Tommy Atha coach team goes about its business. They just kept clawing their way back in. And they are one stop away from getting the ball back and running this clock out.
The Tigers have lost the last 3 in this series. They played 4 times. Won the first one, lost the last 3. The last one is in the second round of the playoffs. Came up short in that football game with an opportunity late in the game. Let's see if they can end up on the better end of that tonight and get the monkey off their back. 4th down and 22. Ball on the 18-yard line. Fans absolutely pins and needles right now, folks. Shotgun formation. This is going to be a 3 wide set, 2 on the near side, 1 on the far side. The quarterback is McKendry, takes the snap, looking downfield, puts it up the middle of the field, almost intercepted by Bethel, but it's a turnover on downs with 1:42 left in the football game with Darlington on top, 30-27.
Big
Wow.
time. I mean, big time. The second half shutout should be complete. Mount Paran does have 2 timeouts left. Darlington took that last timeout, so they'll be able to stop the clock twice. But it would be a tall, tall order for them to pull this one out. And if Darlington were to punch it in, that would be good night, sweetheart.
So Darlington is going to have the football on the 18-yard line in the red zone to start this drive with a 3-point 30-27 lead with 1:42 left to play. And right now they are huddled up. Brent Bell and Tommy Atha, offensive coordinator and head coach, talking a bit. And now Brent Bell talking with Patrick Shelley, making some last-minute adjustments here as they get ready to try to finish off this football game with a win. And what a comeback victory this will be in front of the home crowd tonight. It will clinch a playoff berth because there are only 5 teams in the region that play football, so all you had to do was win that one game to get in the playoffs, and then from that point forward, it's trying to improve your positioning. They're going to line up with everybody in tight.
They're going victory formation.
In victory formation. There's the snap, a knee. Man, what a football game this has been.
I mean, just something else.
Timeout will be called. And we're just going to keep it right here throughout the rest of the game. Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show is going to start late tonight, but I don't think anybody listening is going to complain about that. The way this football game has gone is fun.
They didn't get any of Randy and Lynn last week, so, you know, even if we cut into it a little bit, it'll be a celebration regardless.
When we get done with this game, we're going to take a break, have a little conference here, and make our decision very quickly on who the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game is going to be. We'll just have a brief conference, but you can look in the Rome News Tribune for more information about the game in terms of stats and everything, because we're not going to be able to hang around long enough to get those, because we are going to need to get it back to the studio for the scoreboard show tonight. Really looking forward to listening to that on the way home.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Games are starting to wrap up.
What a game. Darlington 30, Mount Paran Christian 27. Darlington trailing the better portion of the game. Did not take a lead until 3:30 left in the football game. There's another snap and a knee. 1:30 mark. It is 3rd down for the Tigers and 12 with the ball on the 20-yard line.
The clock is running. Mount Paran does have one timeout left. They're going to save it. They're going to let the time run off here and call their timeout after this next snap, which would leave about 40 seconds on the clock, I believe.
Man, what a night of football here at Chris Hunter Stadium. And next week we're going to be on the road. Christian Heritage, I think they're ranked number 7 or 8 in the state of Georgia. Have had a great season. That's going to be a tough task on the road. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to bringing you that game. Shelley ready to take the snap right at the last second there of the play clock.
I'm a little.
Brings up
I don't
4th
know.
down.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't have the timeout count right. I'm going off what's on the scoreboard, but the clock is continuing to run here.
30 seconds left on the clock. Darlington leads it 30-27. Fans looking to celebrate a victory here tonight in a night that did not get off to a wonderful start.
Obviously, the timeouts are not right. I was a little confused by the victory formation, too, based on that. So it looks like the Tigers might have to snap or take a delay of game here. See if they decide to call a timeout.
Mount Paran would come in and score 21 answered points in this football game. And that's a delay of game taken by the Tigers. That will back them up with 0.8 seconds left on the clock.
And Shelley should be able to take the snap and let time expire, take a knee, and that's it. Man, how about it,
what
man?
a football game tonight. Jerry Sharpfield inside Chris Hunter Stadium. What a heck of a night this has been. And what a celebration the Tigers are about to have.
Absolutely.
And they deserve it. There's the snap. And time expires, and the Tigers win it. 30-27, your final score. The Tigers top Mount Paran Christian, breaking the 3-game losing streak to the Eagles. And I know that's got to feel really good for the coaches and the players tonight.
Absolutely, Matt. You interviewed Coach Ather this week. He was nervous.
You could tell it a little bit. It was one of those situations, one of the questions I asked him, I started off by saying, look, Mount Paran is 0-5 to start the year. They graduated some key guys that we called their name a lot last year. It looks like they're in somewhat of a down cycle. And before I got the words down cycle out of my mouth, he was kind of shaking his head no. And by the time I got to the end of the question, he said, look, they are not in a down year. I'll go ahead and tell you. And just talked about all the great things that this team is capable of doing. And obviously we know they're well coached. So this is a good football team. I have no idea how Mount Paran Christian started the year 0-5. And they're a team that I certainly could see going down the line, potentially making their way into the playoffs. But the Tigers are definitely going to be in the playoffs after picking up that win. So they win tonight 30-27. Had to come from behind to do it, but man, what a turn of events and a tale of two halves, as you pointed out earlier.
Yeah, without a doubt, Matt. I mean, this game started as well as you could desire for Mount Paran. They were clicking on all cylinders. It didn't look like Darlington had any answers, but they found a way to just stay in the game. And they even had some opportunities to get it closer before the half. Didn't work out for them. We talked about how they had to score on the opening drive. They went 3 and out, but they just kept plugging away.
And I tell you, the choice is clear. He is going to have to win it for the third time this year. But we'll give you some statistics real quick, and then we'll send it back to the studio without taking a break here to preserve some time for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Allen had a great second half. He would rush the ball 14 times overall in the game for 97 yards, 6.9 yards a carry, would score 2 touchdowns. Patrick Shelley, 9 carries, 167 yards, 18.5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. Passing was 14 of 20 for 107 yards. Did have 1 interception in the game, but boy, the way he competed in this football game, he would also have 4 tackles. So for the third time this season, do we agree that tonight's another night for Patrick Shelley to earn some cupcakes?
We do. Hopefully he'll split it up and share it with his teammates.
Absolutely. A great team effort tonight, but definitely he was certainly the shining star tonight in a lot of ways. Just a fantastic night for the Darlington Tigers, and we wish we had more time to talk about it, because when you have a game like that, you'd love to go back and recap everything and all that sort of stuff. But I know that the guys are eager after not having an opportunity to have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show last week. They're ready to get after it. So we're going to get ready to send it back to the studio. But, Ian, any final thoughts on tonight's game?
Huge win. Darlington has fought hard, and they've lost some tough games. Their 2 losses to Heard County and to Bremen were tough to swallow. They needed this. This is big time. To be down like they were, to come back and win this close game and clinch a spot in the playoffs, this is a confidence builder going forward in region play, and they're going to have to be ready to roll next week. Big game on the road.
Definitely going to be playing at Christian Heritage. Then the next week after that, you got another very tough opponent in North Cobb Christian. So 2 of the toughest opponents that the Tigers will see this season. And as you mentioned, grabbing the momentum and the confidence they got from this come-from-behind victory tonight could carry a lot of weight as you get ready for those big matchups. So I don't know about you, I'm ready to hit the road and head to that game, man. We're going to have a good time next week.
Absolutely, man. Can't get here fast enough.
Well, that's going to put a wrap on our broadcast from here at Chris Hunter Stadium tonight. Again, Darlington with a come-from-behind victory here at home to win the first region contest of the year, 30-27. Can't wait to talk to Coach Atha about it next week for our pregame interview. I bet he's fired up after this football game. But for our friends over here that helped us with the stats, really appreciate that, Stacy Norton and Melvin Scott. And for the video folks, of course, Dave and Joey, Dave Corbin and Joey Johnson, they do a tremendous job with that. We really appreciate you. And Lynn back at the studio and Randy Davis, who are getting ready for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Ian, great job tonight, man. Enjoy working the games with you.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure, man.
And with that said, for Ian Griffin and the rest of the game, I'm Matt Davis. Ain't nothing like a Tiger on a Friday night. The Tigers win 30-27. Let's send it back to the studio for the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show. Have a fantastic night, everybody. Stay safe and take care of each other. We'll talk to you next week on Darlington Tigers football.